The following is a Dowling Catholic Sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio. This is Maroon Nation.
Still on his feet, the 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
Dowling Catholic football lives here.
Sack in the backfield, back at the 45-yard line.
All
Swing pass is nearly intercepted.
season
It is intercepted.
long.
Dowling with the pick. Kenny James down the far sideline he goes.
It's time for Maroon Football. Our coverage of Dowling Catholic sports is underwritten by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, Blessman International, Fast Signs, the Catholic Tuition Organization, Skeffington's Formal Wear, Iowa Wealth Management, the Jenny Farrell Team with Remax Concepts, and Bosun the Florist. And now, the voice of Dowling Catholic football, Mark Amadeo.
And a very pleasant good evening, and welcome to Dallas Center Grimes High School out here in Grimes, Iowa, as we get ready for week number 3 of the Iowa High School football season. Dowling Catholic on the road at Dallas Center Grimes. History being made tonight alongside Matt Mandering and Brian Morris. I'm Mark Amadeo. History being made. First time these two teams have matched up. Matt Mandering in a high school varsity football game. Yes, they played JV. Yes, they've played freshmen and maybe some lower levels, but first time for varsity. We got history being made. The community is out here in Dallas Center Grimes. They're waiting for the Maroons. And it also has dance nights. All the little dancers and the youth dancers are all here, so that'll pack them in too.
It will.
Welcome back, Matt.
It's great to be back. You know, I listened to that promo of Mark. It's got me jacked up right now. I'm ready to go.
Oh boy,
sitting here by the Hall of Fame, I tell you, it's good stuff. No, it's a great venue. It's a beautiful night out here, and a little windy, but it's week 3, and everybody is lined up and getting loose, ready to go.
And it's a little warm. It's about 25 degrees warmer than last week, Brian. Let's see, week 1 against Valley. I know I wrote it down here.
It was hot.
It was.
Let's just say hot.
It was 80. It was 83 degrees against Valley. It's 85 degrees tonight with 50% humidity and winds. Gusting 15 to 20 miles an hour, so we'll have a right to left wind, south to north. But a warm night, but it's week 3, and this is a district game. The others were non-district, and what does that mean, the big picture? Well, you win your district, you automatically get to the playoffs. If you don't win your district, then you got to have the old formula come into action. So this is a district opener for both Dowling and Dallas Center Grimes. Their first year in 5A, Brian.
Yeah, it's a tough leap, right? We've seen this, over the years around Central Iowa with Waukee moving up classes. It just takes a while for the program to get there. They may have the numbers, but again, it needs to build. You need the program to build within with the weights training program, the coaches in the lower levels. So I have a friend who went to Dallas Center Grimes, probably graduated 20 years ago, and he said, my boys are going to get smoked tonight. So he did not have great confidence in his boys.
Well, that could be. The freshman game last night was interesting. Dallas Center Grimes got out to a 14-0 lead with maybe half the first quarter gone, and the Dowling freshmen came back and won 40-something to 20-something. So, but good program. Scott Heitland has been here almost as long as Tom Wilson's been at Dowling, over 20 years. Runs a good program, and the Maroons are just trying to get back at it in week 3. I know for Dowling they've had some what's this stuff going around school? My daughter tells me about. I say, they got people get sick. I don't know if it's allergies, and then the Maroons have their starting wide receiver has been out ill. I don't know. He is a game-time decision, so we'll have to see about Jeffrey Roberts. But what's going on there, Mr. Mandering?
You mix 1,400 bodies together, and
you do that?
Yeah, and after a couple of weeks, stuff starts to happen.
I always thought it happened after the pancake breakfast, Brian, when we're all together.
Yeah,
but go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, Coach Heitland's done a great job up here, and he does have a solid program. And it does take a little bit of time to do this transition up, going up a level. And I think that discrepancy between 2A, 3A, you see these teams. I think about Van Meter and ADM and some of those schools that are starting to climb that ladder, going 1A, 2A to 3A. That one, doesn't take quite as much. This leap is different. And, the time that the kids put into it and the volume of kids that you have and all of those things, and quite honestly, the volume of coaches that you have,
right?
And for your program and everything else, it's different. And so it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, Dallas Center Grimes dressing 78 players tonight. Now, almost 30 of them are sophomores, and Dowling's dressed in 82, and they have 32 seniors on that group. So just a matter of we get those senior numbers up. At Dallas Center Grimes will have some, that type of leadership. But you need the numbers to compete with 5A. Now, I say that, and they've gotten wins. Dallas Center Grimes has over 2 opponents to start the year, and they got off to a good start by defeating Urbandale in Week 1, 28-19 at Urbandale Stadium, and then last week shutting out Ottumwa here at Dallas Center Grimes, 49-0. So they played a 5A schedule, but they probably got not probably the 2 best 5A schools. Tonight they're getting a perennial type power in Dowling, and Coach Heitland told me that. He says, our kids are ready. They know what the first 2 weeks meant, and here we are.
Yeah, here we are. And usually what happens in these games, Brian, you've seen them too, is that they're going to come out, that first quarter, you just got to withstand the energy and then let the business of football take over as the game wears on.
Well, you think about these Dallas Center Grimes kids, again, they've been watching Dowling Catholic and Valleys of the world, the Northwest of the world, and hoping they'll get their chance, and their school district grew, and they get the chance tonight. So what else? Well, there's nothing better for those kids than to play one of the better teams in the state.
Absolutely. You're listening to the pregame show on Iowa Catholic Radio, 105.5 FM, KIHS, as we've been on that station since April. There's no more 11:50 a.m. There's no more of that. So I think I only had one call last week about where are you guys at on Friday nights, and it's getting better, folks. But, we're radio only. I believe Dallas Center Grimes has their own streaming, so they are streaming it because I talked to their live stream guy. But nonetheless, beautiful night. It got warm. We had rain move through, spotty showers. Look, the radar, that stuff is clearing over towards the east, so maybe some eastern Iowa games could be delayed. But we've got a good one, and other games going on. Number 1 team in Class 5A this week is Waukee Northwest Wolves, as they upset Valley last week. Matt, I know you were in West Virginia in the high country out there partying it up at a wedding. But, Waukee Northwest defeated Valley, so they're number 1, and they travel to City High of Iowa City tonight, and they'll take on the City High Little Hawks. Linmar Marion is at second-ranked Iowa City Liberty. Valley is now 3rd, and they host Urbandale tonight. Roosevelt is at Ankeny. Southeast Polk on the road at Norwalk, and that's a first for Norwalk in a district game. And Iowa City West at Pleasant Valley. Sioux City East at Bishop Heelan. That'll be a good one up there in Sioux City. Bettendorf, it's 9th-ranked Prairie of Cedar Rapids. And 10th-ranked Cedar Falls at Dubuque Senior. Dowling this week ranked number 4 on both Radio Iowa and Des Moines Register polls, and they host unranked but undefeated Dallas Center Grimes. So it's kind of a
you
tale of
mentioned,
tape.
Mark, Iowa City a lot there, and we haven't brought up last week's game, not the game on Friday, but Saturday. So sorry about the
Brian,
Cyclones.
we're a
victory
high school.
again.
We are a high school.
No, I know. I just
show.
remember you were predicting last week Iowa would win, and Iowa State won.
Help me out here, man. Jump
even in West Virginia, I was able to watch that and see that field goal. That last catch, you get the tip pass.
Yeah, no, I
don't know if anybody wants to relive it or anything.
I just know Mark's a big Hawk fan, and us poor Cyclones,
I've heard it at home. I heard it at work. I've heard it in the neighborhood.
Now you've heard it tonight.
Thanks for bringing that up, Brian. That's a wound
no worries.
That won't go away. So, all right, let's talk about the matchups tonight. And Brian, I'll start with you since you fired the first salvo tonight. I have
the Dowling offense
against Dallas Center Grimes defense, and their defense they're led by their middle linebacker number 46, Connor Stolpe. And he's caused several fumbles this year. He can hit, and he and Wyatt Valenta, number 8, are their 2 best linebackers. And that's going to be interesting to watch because they're going to really do a lot of run blitzing, as Coach Wilson was telling me. But your thoughts on Dowling's offense and handling a team like that?
I mean, I look at last week what Dowling tried to do against Johnson Rise, establish that run game with Ian Middleton, and they were very successful. I look at this week very similar, guys. It's the defensive line for Dallas Center Grimes is not very big. So I guess the key is, can the Dowling offensive line and the girth move that? And I can't believe Coach Wilson won't try to establish that early just to loosen up the pass game. But as you say, Mark, those linebackers are really good players for Dallas Center Grimes. So Dowling's going to have to be able to negate some of their speed. I know that.
And Dallas Center Grimes has 2 players going both ways. I mentioned Wyatt Valenta, number 8, their will linebacker, and the other one is Hudson Heidgerken, number 1. He's a 2-way player. And Matt, that brings us to the Dowling defense against those two men on offense. Heidgerken, number 1, and Valenta, the tight end, wearing number 8. And Chase Engel is a left-handed quarterback, and he's a pocket guy. He does not like to run the ball. He's got 3 carries for -1 yards. So the Dowling defense against this spread offense, and I asked Coach Wilson about who he thought they mirrored, and we're going to hear more about that later. But your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've watched Engel. I watched a little bit of tape, and he's a quick kid, and it's surprising he doesn't run as much. So it's not going to be like Valley where you got to worry about the quarterback and spy him and stuff like that. So it's basically sit in coverage, and can that front 4 of Dowling, can Bobo, Hagen, and Elcock, and then with a random running linebacker thrown in there, create enough pressure without having to bring a bunch of people. And, I've been impressed. Engel, he's 28 of 43 passing, really good percentage, 344 yards, 5 touchdowns. They like to stretch the field. They've got a lot of receivers with 3 or 4 catches. Gabe Wright leads them. He's got what do I want to say here? 119 yards receiving. And, and Osborne is Ozzie Grimm out of the backfield, their leading running back. He's a good quick back, and he's already got 204 yards, but he's also got 7 catches for 57 yards. So you got to account for him leaking out, and then, whether it's a screenplay or whatnot. I just think that the front from Dowling, this is a young offensive line. And that's going to be the difference, I think. They have 3 juniors, a senior, and another junior starting. They're big kids, but I think the veteran play of, you take a Bobo, you take an Elcock, and then you throw in there Hagen. That's a lot to handle. And I think they're going to have their hands full.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the pregame show as we have an interview with head coach Tom Wilson of Dowling Catholic talking about tonight's game here at Dallas Center Grimes, which will kick off right at 7 o'clock. We'll talk about last week's win over Johnson with Coach Wilson in one segment, and we'll talk about the matchup. Alongside Matt Mandring and Brian Morris, Mark Hamadale here at Iowa Catholic Radio. Vinny Cataldo is our studio producer, and we'll return after this 1-minute break to talk with Coach Wilson on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and urgent eye issues. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Support for programming is provided by Construction Professionals, serving customers through a proven process, creating unique design, functionality, and artistic beauty. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. CPCustomHomes.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formal Wear, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formal Wear, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
The legend lives here.
Now to Phillips, back to throw, throws in the end zone, looking for Wilson. Caught, touchdown, Trey Wilson.
The radio home for your Dowling Catholic Maroons. 105.5 KIHS.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Mark Amadale now joined by head coach Tom Wilson of Dowling Catholic. Before tonight's game, Dowling at Dallas Center Grimes in week 3 of the high school football season. Coach, thank you for joining us, and best of luck taking on Dallas Center Grimes tonight.
All right, thanks, Mark.
Well, Coach, as we talk about tonight's game, first thing I got to mention, as far as I can tell, first time ever Dowling and Dallas Center Grimes in a varsity football game. So we have history going on out here in Grimes, Iowa.
Yeah, we do. It's obviously they made the move up to 5A, and we get them on our schedule and get to go to their place. So it's a new and exciting time.
Well, Coach, let's kind of review last week's game with Johnson, a win by Dowling, 31-10, a game in which you led at halftime 14-3 and closed it out with a 31-10 lead. And Johnson got on the board first, led 3-0, and then Dowling scoring 28 straight points after trailing 3-0. And you did it with balance, offense and defense. And Coach, normally we'll talk offense. Normally you try to exploit something in the defense, and you had pretty good balance with passing and rushing. Ian Middleton, 3 touchdowns, nearly 200 yards rushing, and Joey Nahas, just over 200 yards passing and a touchdown. So that's pretty good offensive balance. And I think you ran more plays than what we referred to in the Valley game.
Yeah, it was a much different feel, and I thought we did a much better job at the line of scrimmage, which that's where it all starts. And obviously Ian and Joey both having their share of success. Jeffrey Roberts with a good night, Sammy Drexler with a good night stat-wise and things like that. So it was good just to see the tempo and get us moving.
And defensively, you forced 4 turnovers. Jordan Watson, who we talked to in the postgame show, had 2 interceptions, and you had 2 fumble recoveries, Leo Pagano and Gabe Lawson. But more importantly, your defensive lineman was your leading tackler. Normally you don't see that. Normally it's a safety or a corner or maybe even a linebacker. But Ryan Bobo led the defense with 6 tackles, and it was quite a night for the defense.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job all night. We made them one-dimensional. They really couldn't run the ball with any success. Bobo leading us in tackles is really not a surprise. He's a good player, and he's going to be a problem for a lot of people, and we expect that. It's his 3rd year as a varsity player. Really proud of the overall defense and the things that we were able to do and correct from week 1.
And, of course, against Johnson, their starting quarterback, Helming, did not start due to injury, but he came and played later and threw a touchdown pass to Tino Day, their only touchdown of the night in the 3rd quarter. But you had the backup quarterback, and that kind of caused a lot of problems with the way the defense was playing and making them one-dimensionally offensively.
Oh, yeah, they did. And to be honest with you, I thought we played pretty well when Helming came in, so I felt pretty good about that. And he's a good player, and obviously that doesn't help them any when he was out the first half and things like that. But more about us and feeling good about, the things that we were able to improve on from week 1 to week 2, and hopefully we can continue to make progress.
Visit with head coach Tom Wilson before tonight's game. Dowling at Dallas Center Grimes. Kickoff at 7 o'clock out here in Grimes, Iowa. Dowling defense, 137 yards of total offense they gave up last week. Coach, just to mention, what were some of the kids maybe behind the scenes that you thought did a good job? We know stat-wise who gets in the paper and the box score is the offense, but who are some of the kids behind the scenes that graded out very well as you broke down film this past week?
Yeah, I think offensively, guys that did some of the tough work that allowed some of our other guys to have those stats would be like a Jimmy Nahas or a Quinn Schmolbach, who were doing an awful lot of the blocking, not only for Middleton but also on the perimeter for Drexler on some of those bubble screens and things like that. Honestly, Jeffrey Roberts had a really good night blocking wise. Everybody, can see him outrun people, but he's improved greatly in that regard. And defensively, I think for an inexperienced guy football wise, Maddox Coppola continues to do well, and Kyle Schumacher is kind of an unsung guy too that we play in a bunch of different spots on the defensive side, but he some quality reps as well.
Visit with head coach Tom Wilson of Dowling Catholic before tonight's game. Dowling at Dallas Center Grimes. Week 3 of the Iowa high school football season. We'll take a break, come back and talk with Coach Wilson about tonight's opponent, the Dallas Center Grimes Mustangs. First time playing Dallas Center Grimes and Dowling in high school varsity football. This is Mark Hamadale. We'll return after these messages.
Faith Check with Greg Ewell on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
On this Faith Check, let's talk about our first Pope, St. Peter. I remember well a conversation I once had with a Protestant pastor who told me that if Peter were truly the first Pope, he thought he'd see him exercising the papacy more in the Bible. Well, Scripture shows that Peter was no ordinary apostle. Peter's name appears more than all the other apostles combined, and in every list of the apostles' names, Peter's comes first while Judas Iscariot's is last. Peter is the one chosen to pay the temple tax for Jesus and the apostles in Matthew 17. And in the Acts of the Apostles, God picks Peter as the first to take the gospel to the Jews in Acts 2, to the Samaritans in Acts 8, and to the Gentiles in Acts 10. Peter performs the first miracle in Acts 3, pronounces judgment on Ananias and Sapphira in Acts 5, and gives the decisive teaching at the Council of Jerusalem in Acts 15. Every team needs a coach, every company needs a CEO. Yes, Jesus is our King, but he left us Peter to be the head pastor of his flock on earth. This is Greg Ewell for Faith Check.
Welcome back to the pregame show here here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Mark Amadale, continue my conversation with head coach Tom Wilson before tonight's game, Dowling at Dallas Center Grimes. And coach, first time, as we mentioned earlier, taking on Dallas Center Grimes. They're off to a 2-0 start. First year in Class 5A, I think Dallas Center Grimes and Norwalk moved up from 4A to 5A, so both playing a 5A schedule. But they're 2-0. Scott Highland has been at Dallas Center Grimes about as long as you've been at Dowling, over 20 years, and done a nice job. And the transition, they graduated they have 6 starters returning on offense, and I think 4 on defense. But when I spoke to him this week, he was looking forward to the challenge. He knew last year they had like a 2-7 record in 4A, but they're looking for a new opportunity. And the kids worked hard, and now they're off to 2-0 start with wins over Urbandale and Ottumwa. So your thoughts on the Mustangs for the first time in history?
Yeah, I think they're a very junior-oriented football team. Most of their skill, other than 1 or 2, are juniors. Offensive line-wise, all juniors but 1. Defensively, a little bit more senior-oriented. I think they have good skill. I think quarterback does certainly an adequate job of distributing the football. I think he's a good player, and I also think they've got some weapons in the pass game, like their running back a lot, Ozzie Grimm. I think he's had 2 good weeks for them and runs hard, and should be an interesting challenge for us.
Coach, they like to, if you look at them, like, who do they remind you of? Their quarterback's a left-hander. Not that it means anything, but he's a lefty in his first or second year at quarterback. But they spread everybody out. They have a tight end, but they use him sometimes and not. And kind of remember, it looks like a little Dowling out there when they spread everybody out and try to go with that one-back offense. But your thoughts on who they remind you of offensively?
Could be a little bit like Johnston, to be honest with you. Good skill people, good quarterback, running back that does a good job. I think it's interesting. We talk about, coming up from 4A and what gets kind of interesting is just scheduling wise and things like that. Well, they come up from 4A and, you look at our schedule and look at Southeast Polk, look at Valley, look at some of those other schools that have been perennial 5A teams that have been successful. And, we have each and every week we have a pretty tough opponent. Well, with a Norwalk or a Dallas Center Grimes, they didn't exactly load up their schedule. So when you start looking at apples to apples, I think that part gets interesting, but that's just the way of the world, the way the schedule is nowadays. But I do think Dallas Center Grimes is a program that's on the rise. They've got good players, and it's going to be a nice challenge for us.
And offensively for Dowling, last week really started clicking in, and against this Dallas Center Grimes defense. What kind of defense do they run? They got some guys up front that are seniors. This Stolpe, number 46, is a pretty good linebacker, and Valenta's got some experience. He's a two-way player. Your thoughts on their defense and attacking it tonight?
Yeah, 4-man front. We haven't seen them run any 3-man front up to this point. Doesn't mean that they can't. You mentioned their 2 linebackers, 2 guys with a lot of experience, good athletes in the secondary. I would compare their secondary a lot to Johnston's. And so that part of it, I think, is going to be a challenge. What I see them doing is blitzing quite a bit. They've done it about 30% of the time up to this point. I could see them do that more against us to try to get us behind the sticks and those types of things. So, hopefully we can establish ourselves up front and are able to stay fairly balanced like what we were a week ago.
All right. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time before tonight's game. We hope to catch up to you during halftime and, of course, post-game, and talk to the kids, everything works out, and talk to you if it doesn't. And, even if it does work out. But we appreciate your time. That's always a nice feature, and I hope our listeners like that. You don't have anybody listening or watching, do you, that appreciate that?
Yeah, maybe a few.
Coach Wilson, thank you, and best of luck against DCG.
All right, thank you.
Head coach Tom Wilson visited with me on the pregame show as Dowling takes on Dallas Center Grimes here at Dallas Center Grimes High School. Alongside Matt Mainring, I'm Mark Amadale. We'll return with more pregame and the kickoff coming up along the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
How can you measure the value of education-based athletics? Well, the value is in what makes it invaluable. That's because school sports aren't just about winning. They're about learning and growing. School sports aren't just about gaining trophies and accolades. They're about learning life lessons, bringing a whole community together, developing character and integrity, having coaches who mentor you, and teammates who become lifelong friends. And you can't put a price on any of that. That's what makes education-based athletics invaluable. Of course, when you participate in school sports, you want to win and become a better athlete, but the purpose is so much greater, becoming a better person. Support your local school sports programs. And if you have a student, encourage them to get involved.
This message presented by the IHSAA and the Iowa High School Athletic Directors Association.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Ryan, President of Dowling Catholic High School. Welcome to another season of exciting Dowling High School football. We are proud to be partners with Iowa Catholic Radio, not only broadcasting football, but also being partners in preparing Christ-centered leaders for life. Go Maroons.
Hello, my name is Father Reed Flood. Let us pray together for the coaches, players, and trainers for this athletic competition this evening. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all your gifts. We ask that you bless all those involved in this athletic competition this evening. We ask that you keep them safe and that they show good sportsmanship. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Saint Sebastian, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And welcome back to Dallas Center Grimes High School as we get set for week number 3 of the Iowa High School football season on Iowa Catholic Radio. Alongside Matt Maindring, I'm Mark Hamadale. And Matt, welcome back. I know last week you had a little journey out east, and I hope you didn't get lost in the foothills or mountains of West Virginia, but welcome.
We had some interesting drives, I know that. It's a remote state, I know that.
You found that out,
It was fun. Yeah,
all for a wedding.
All for a wedding.
During football season.
Yep.
My goodness, who gets married during football season?
I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. My anniversary's coming up on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of us did. That was me. All right. Very warm night, folks, if you're joining us. So we had some showers come through central Iowa earlier, and now we've got the warm weather, probably our warmest night of the season. 85 degrees at game time, south-southeast wind at 15 miles per hour, humidity at 50%, and sitting through and standing through all that is down on the far sideline across on the east bleachers. That is where Brian Morris is at. Does it really feel that warm, Brian?
You know, the wind, guys, is really nice down here. It's coming out of the south. I bet you it's 15 to 20 miles an hour. It's going to be definitely impacting this game and the throwing game, but it is turning into a beautiful night on the field. I know up in the press box it was a little warmer, but beautiful night on the field.
Well, good, and I appreciate Brian being on the field for our sideline reports. Is my goodness, look, we got the coin toss, or not the coin toss, the coin toss, Brian, and Dallas Center Grimes brings most of their guys on the field, and only 4 go to the coin toss. That's a little different.
Yeah, every team does it a little bit differently, guys. Again, Dowling usually has one captain, a special captain each week.
Right.
And their normal captains go out. So, I think Dallas Center Grimes just maybe promoting some unity, or who knows what the traditions are, guys.
All right. So Dowling will receive the opening kickoff as DCG won the toss. And our sideline report brought to you by the Jenny Farrell team, proud supporter of Dowling Catholic Athletics, and the Jenny Farrell team, Remax Concepts, have been helping generations of Dowling Catholic families with their real estate investments for almost 30 years. You can learn more at jenniferfarrell.remax.com. So Dowling will receive, and it looks like Dallas Center Grimes will kick right to left. They will defend the south end zone, so DCG will have the wind at their back here in the first half, but playing defense first, Matt.
Yeah, it's a strong enough win where I think, if a team's got a punt, it's going to make you think about, well, do we take a timeout to make sure they're punting into the wind at the quarter break, stuff like that. And if you're Dallas Center Grimes, who likes to stretch the field, they've made some big plays offensively, throwing the ball down the field. And Chase Engle can do that, and I think you want to start with that win behind your back, because you're an underdog. You want to get out early.
Absolutely. Well, Dowling's offense will be led by quarterback Joey Nahas, 6 foot, 190-pound senior, wearing number 16. In the backfield will be Ian Middleton, number 5, the running back, and he'll be backed up by Grayson Pennington and Henry Smid. Wide receiver, Sam Drexler, Jeffrey Roberts, Jimmy Nahas. The tight end or H-back, Quinn Schmolback, Leighton Oldfield, and Sam Spracklin. And Roberts, he's dressed and he could go, but he's been battling that illness. He had a little bit of the flu and kind of knocked him out for a day or so, so he is out there. But Preston Hoffbauer, number 4, will rotate in his spot. The offensive line for Dowling, Carter Barrett, the left tackle, number 77, Josh Miller at left guard. Cade Krause is the center, Evan Mitchell at right guard, and Max Thomas at right tackle. So that's the starting offense for the Maroons as Dallas Center Grimes will kick off. And then defensively for Dallas Center Grimes, and Brian, you mentioned this too a little bit up front. They're a very young defensive line and an undersized defensive line. Carter Stewart, Cole Torski, Max Murray, and Luke Lampy. So interested to see how they will defend that offensive line of Dowling, Brian.
Yeah, it's going to be, a will of Dowling setting up the run. I believe they're going to come out trying to establish that, just like they did last week against Johnson. It does look like Jeffrey Roberts is going to go deep, guys, so he is playing.
So he's going to be on kickoff return. All right, we thought they'd kind of rotate him around. Linebackers for Dallas Center Grimes, Connor Stolpe and Wyatt Valinda. They're the two experienced linebackers. And then you have Jace Kiley and Luke Lampy. And then the secondary corners are Hudson Heidgerken, a two-way player, Samson Johansson, the other corner, and the safeties Owen Jensen and Cole Hemmingson. So that is the starting lineups for both teams there, Matt.
Yeah, Stolpe, he's the real deal. I mean, he's leading the team with 21 tackles. And Cole Hemmingson, the safety, has got 13, and Jace Cayley's got 11, and that front for them has racked up a number of tackles themselves. So here we go.
All right, and they kick the ball off in the end zone. Good foot by their kickoff guy, Olmin Isolomovic, 6'6", 220-pound senior, and he just does that. He just kicks off. He's a soccer player, and a lot of times he's at club soccer, so he missed last week's game, but he's back tonight, and Dowling will start first and 10 from their own 20.
That's life in 2025, right? I mean, you got a kid that might not be here because he's playing his major sport.
Yep.
And but you still want him out there to kick field goals for you and win games on Friday night when he can.
Well, Coach Heitland said, hey, whenever you can be here, you're going to kick off. So Dowling will start first and 10 from their own 20. Nahas back to throw, and he fires it out. Pass incomplete. Jeffrey Robertson, intended receiver to the right side of the formation. Dowling going left to right into the wind and broken up by DCG.
Yeah, a quick hitter there to Jeffrey out there into the slot position, and he's sitting there just outside the hash, and a quick shot at him, and the defense was right there. Good play by, it looked like Hudson Heidgerken broke that up.
All right, Dowling with two receivers left, one to the right. And the tight end line up right outside the right tackle. In motion goes Sam Drexler. Here's the snap out of the shotgun. Handoff Middleton looking for a hole and grinds his way. Then he falls forward across up near the 24-yard line. They'll give him 4. So to bring up 3rd and 6 for Dowling from their own 24-yard line. And Middleton, right between the guards, found a little bit of running room.
He did on the right side of that line between Evan Mitchell and Max Thomas. It was kind of a slow developing play, and you see Ian sitting back there picking his spot and then accelerated into the hole, and the DCG defense stepped up.
All right, let's see if DCG has a blitz here. Two receivers on each side. Back to throw. Nahas fires the ball out. Caught by his twin brother, Jimmy Nahas, with the catch. First down, Dowling at the 31, gain of 7.
Now, I was in the hallway the other day, and I asked, okay, how do I tell you guys apart?
Oh, they were walking together.
Well, I got one's got a mole. I don't know, and it's something else. And it was a nice pass and catch, and right there, he spun right on the down marker. Great pickup.
All right, 3 receivers left. Now Middleton in motion. They fire it near side, caught by Jeffrey Roberts. He loses the football, and he's going to be dropped right at the 30-yard line. No signal yet from the officials that'll bring up second down, and Roberts got away with one because Jeffrey caught the ball, lost it, and must have fell on it right at the line of scrimmage.
He did, and that's the one thing you worry about a little bit with the kid who's been ill all week and stuff like that. He, mentally, he says, I can go. His body might tell him a little bit differently, and you just got to get in a rhythm here, and luckily he got back on the ball.
All right, 10.5 minutes remaining. First quarter just underway. No score, Dowling and Dallas Center Grimes here in Grimes, Iowa. Back to throws Neha. Sets up in the pocket, fires over the middle, and we might have interference. Pass incomplete. Drexler was the intended receiver, and he was well defended by Hudson Heidgerken. Had a hand on his shoulder, but incomplete.
Yeah, and right there, was good coverage, and there was just a shot play there by Nahas, and he didn't. Sammy wasn't really wide open, and Heidgerken was there with him the whole way, and didn't break the coverage, and he made a nice play defensively. And here we go. Now you got a 3rd and 10.
All right, Smolbach in as an extra receiver. He splits out wide left with Sam Drexler. 2 receivers to the right. Nahas out of the shotgun. Middleton back behind him. Back to throw. Nahas fires downfield. The pass is tipped and incomplete. Roberts was the intended receiver, but nicely defended by Hudson Heidgerken again. It'll bring up 4th down for Dowling from their own 31.
And there, I think a little bit, and Brian may speak to this, but that was a little bit of throwing into the wind.
Yeah,
that ball died a little bit as he threw it out there.
It did. He put a lot of air underneath the ball, and it died. It did die, guys. Again, that wind is 15 at least miles an hour.
Yep, Dowling going into the wind. They're going north to south, but that wind out of the south at 15, maybe to 20 miles an hour. We haven't seen the gusts take effect, but it's 4th down for the Maroons, and Dowling has employed several punters this year. And let's see which one is back there, back deep for Dallas Center Grimes, back there on 35. And the punt is blocked. That was Henry Smith on the punt, picked up by the Maroons. They still have it, and they get it up to the 34-yard line, and that will be enough for a 1st down. It'll be turnover on downs after a partially blocked Henry Smith punt.
And you might keep looking. I don't know. It was a little bit. It looked like there was one hand on it. There was one rusher there, and he might have got one hand on it. And Smith was trying to get it away. Bounced up to Middleton, and you thought for a moment Middleton might break out of it and get that 1st down, but no avail, and you have DCG really fired up right now. DCG really fired up.
They'll have a 1st down at the Dowling 34-yard line. Let's go down to Brian Morris with our Jenny Farrell team sideline report. Brian?
Guys, we talked about this in pregame. We thought Dallas Center Grimes would come out kind of on fire. They have all the momentum right now. The crowd's into it. Big crowd here tonight, so big momentum switch right there.
Well, it certainly is, and see if they can take advantage of it as Mustangs now with their offense. Their quarterback is Chase Engel, a left-hander, and now stoppage of play. We got timeout, Dallas Center Grimes, so we'll take it with them. 9:59 remaining here in the first quarter. No score, Dowling and Dallas Center Grimes. Timeout, DCG. Back in 1 minute along the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Fast Signs is a custom sign and visual solutions company with an extensive selection of digital signage, interior and exterior signs, banners, and vehicle wraps. Learn more at fastsigns.com. Thank you, Fast Signs in Clive, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
Life's buzzing with energy, and every moment is powered by our health. At Mercy One, their caring doctors focus on just that, so you're ready for what life brings next. Find care at mercy1.org/healthpowerslife.
The radio home for your Dowling Catholic Maroons. 105.5 KIHS, Perry, Des Moines. IowaCatholicRadio.com and the Iowa Catholic Radio mobile app. Encounter Jesus.
Iowa Catholic Radio is 105.5 KIHS, Perry, Des Moines, 89.3 KDVM, Mason City, and 89.9 KCSL, Spencer, Spirit Lake, or anywhere on the Iowa Catholic Radio app.
We're back here at Dallas Center Grimes High School on the first play following the timeout. Quarterback Chase Engel rolls to his right, keeps the football, and gets inside the 30 down to the Dowling 29, 5-yard gain on that scramble there, Matt, for the DCG quarterback.
Weren't we saying in pregame he doesn't want to run?
Doesn't run much.
Yeah, he ran there.
Engel back to throw. Now being chased out of the pocket, rolls to his left, and he fires out of bounds incomplete. And he was well escorted to the sideline by Joel Sanko and Ryan Bobo.
Yeah, he was just barely got that ball back to the line of scrimmage as he threw that ball out of bounds, and he was 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage as Bobo was escorting him to the DCG sideline there, chasing him down.
Yeah, Engel this year, 3 carries for -1 yard. Now it's 4 carries, and he's got positive yards. Yeah. He's got 4 yards. So 4 carries for 4 yards. That gets that average back up. All right, brings up 3rd and 5 for DCG from the Dowling 29-yard line. If you joined us late, Dowling had their punt blocked, and now a screen pass set up, and it's incomplete. They try to fire it over the middle, and nothing but linemen were right there. I don't see a receiver.
Yeah, I didn't see a receiver either. They got crossed up there in the backfield, and I'm assuming Ozzie Grimm was supposed to be, unless it was a tight end screen, and it was supposed to be Wyatt Valenta out there, but there was nowhere to go for Engel with that football.
All right, so DCG is going to attempt a long field goal here. Is Dylan Lackland, 6'1", 165-pound senior, has not attempted the field goal yet this year, but this will be from 46 yards from the right hash, going right to left, south to north, with the wind at his back. Ball's down, kick is up, it's high enough, it's long enough, and it is no good off to the left, and we remain tied here at Dallas Center Grimes High School. 0-0 with 9:37 to go, and let's go down to our Jenny Farrell team sideline report with Brian Morris, and I'll tell you what, Dowling defense stepping up right there, Brian, after the block punt.
They did, guys, and I think about the quarterback, they may have watched some tape from Valley game as well and saw the scrambling and had some success, so maybe he's going to do a little bit more tonight.
So Dowling will start 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line, so they're actually 9 yards better than when they started the game.
Yeah.
And the Maroons will have a first down with 9:37 remaining here in the first quarter. Now here's a pass near side, incomplete. One Nahas thrown to the other, and or one Nahas thrown to Quinch Smallback, who couldn't handle the pass, incomplete. Maroons are having the yips.
Yeah, they got it a little bit. I mean, he's open out there and didn't quite get the handle on it and it's a little warm, it's a little humid. The gloves might be a little wet, but that was a catchable ball and one that would have turned into a positive play.
All right, 2nd down, 10. Dowling, Nahas out of the shotgun, fakes the handoff to Middleton. Now wants to keep the football and does. He's hit and dropped right at the 20-yard line. And he'll lose yardage back.
He's got to come out for a play because his helmet came off.
Yes, it did. So we're going to see the backup quarterback for Dowling get in there, and that is Ethan LaCava, 6'4", 200-pound senior, number 13.
Yeah.
But that ball is back to the 21-yard line.
Ethan's a junior, and he's come a long way as a football player at Dowling. I remember watching him as a freshman and watching him elevate his game to this level, and he's ready for the moment, I think. So we'll see how we do here.
All right, LaCava back to throw. Looks right, looks left, has time, and now offside DCG. So that'll get 5 yards for Dowling on the penalty.
Well, it's kind of an auspicious start here for Dowling Catholic as they're trying to get this offense going. Now, I don't think Nahas can come back in even without that penalty.
Because they didn't run a play.
They didn't run a play, so he's got to wait yet for a play. And so LaCava stays in.
Unless they take a timeout. I think that's the
okay.
And they're not going to take a timeout.
No,
so LaCava's going to stay in there. So line of scrimmage, I'm sorry, it was the 20-yard line. Missed field goal. It's like a punt, or it goes automatically back to the 20. So Dowling started their own 20, gained 1 yard thus far.
And they got him again.
And that'll be a first down.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
Offside DCG.
So LaCava comes in, and his stagger count draws him off sides. The Cadence got him twice, and so the young man comes in, makes 2 great plays, and the ball hasn't been snapped yet.
And Joey Nahas still can't come back in because they haven't ran a play.
Yeah. But now you can hand it off to Middleton. And now you're thinking, okay, maybe we'll do a run.
That might be what happened. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left, Middleton in the backfield. Here's the snap. LaCava does give it to Ian, and he goes over to the left side and hit and stood up at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. Nope, no gain up to the 31-yard line. So to bring up 2nd and 8.
2nd and 8, and this front, this defense for Dallas Center Grimes is a great defense. I mean, they're really solid up front. They got a lot of size between Stewart, Torski, Murray, and Lampy, and they can get some things done up front with those linebackers. And so far, they haven't no run game for Dowling.
All right, back to throw as Nahas back in, fires it to the left side. The pass is caught. Did he hang on to it? And I don't believe so. That was Middleton out of the backfield. Pass is incomplete.
Yeah, incomplete.
So we'll bring up 3rd and 9.
Heidgerken again playing defense, and he came up and stuck his shoulder pads right in Ian Middleton's ribs and knocked the ball away as he was catching it.
All right, 3rd and 9, Dowling from the 31-yard line, their own 31-yard line. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Nahas back to throw, looking, now wants to run between the tackles, and he's hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage again. Great job by DCG. It'll bring up 4th down and Dowling punt unit in.
Yeah, this defense in here has come out hot for DCG, and if they come out and can stop the run and the quick passing game is not working for Dowling, that puts some pressure on them, and here we are. Not many total yards of offense is no first downs yet, right? Well, except for the first down on penalties.
-1 yard on that last carry, and now Maroons in the punt. Good snap, and the Maroons get it away, and that is Jackson Smith punting it away, and DCG will let it roll inside the 40 and down at the 40. Check that 34-yard line is where DCG will start. 1st and 10, no score, 7:16 to go here in the first quarter. And Dowling and DCG, and a good one here. First time ever these two teams have met. Let's go down to our Brian Morris with our Jenny Farrell team sideline report. Brian?
Yeah, guys, the offense, I think we've dropped 4 or 5 passes already. The team looks a little lethargic, to be quite honest. That last weekend, they had a little more energy on the sidelines. But, again, I think those drop passes of it just showing maybe the mental kind of where they're at right now.
Well, that's a credit to also your opponent sometimes, and DCG has certainly proven that as Engel back at quarterback. The left-hander hands it off to his tailback, and that's the first time Ozzie Grimm has carried, and he's dropped, and he may have lost a yard too. Back to the 33-yard line. I'll bring up 2nd and 11 for DCG.
Right now, this front from Dowling Catholic, and that front is just winning the moment. And both defensive lines are really dominating the game right now. And you got Bobo, Hagan, and Elcock with Bonanno, Schumacher, Blount, and Pagano behind them are doing the job.
All right, Engel back to throw, looks left, throws left, and he overthrows intended receiver, incomplete. And Jordan Watson was hovering, and he picked off 2 passes last week and almost had one there.
Yeah, I heard his name a couple times last week. I did listen to the second half. I think his interceptions were in the first half, probably. I can't.
You had reception in West Virginia?
Well,
I'm surprised.
We ran an extra antenna. No, they have this thing called Wi-Fi now.
In the mountains? I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, we were able to listen to Dave and you. It was sweet music.
We got Dave out of retirement.
Yeah.
I mean, I know his usual Friday night is home, but he's probably doing that now. All right, it's 3rd and 11 for DCG. Engel back to throw, looks left, and he throws 11. There's a dropsies again, incomplete. It's affecting both teams. The intended receiver was their tailback, Ozzie Grimm. 4th and 11 coming up, and this has been a defensive, obviously first quarter with some miscues, mental mistakes, but probably want to give credit to both defenses too.
You do. And I think one of the other things too is we've had a relatively mild fall. And you're coming into this game. This is really the first hot, humid game that these kids have had. And, I think it does play into it a little bit, but the offense got to show what they can do now.
All right, Connor Stolpe, their linebacker, good punt, and that sends Dowling back. And now the ball is dropped and picked up by DCG. Another mental error, and that time on the Maroons as Dowling muffs the punt. Sam Drexler couldn't get it back, and it'll be 1st and 10, DCG at the 12-yard line.
Coach Wilson's asking because Drexler caught the ball and went down on his knees, and then the ball came out. But I'm thinking they're saying he didn't have control.
Correct.
And so, it's a bang-bang play. He catches the ball. He goes down to his knees, so he's going to be down, but the ball was never in control. Squirts out. DCG has a hustle play, and now they're in the red zone now here at the 12-yard line.
So a fumbled punt by Drexler gives DCG a first down at the Dowling 12-yard line. Engel at quarterback, back to throw. On play action, rolls to his left and fires it out of bounds, incomplete. Penalty flag down after the play was over, as it was a little play action to the tailback rim. Let's see what this is about here.
This, it's thrown in a weird plays, either a hold or if it's a downfield, a lineman downfield, because it took a long time. But I think it wasn't a screen play, so I don't think there'd be a lineman downfield.
Let's go down to our Jenny Farrell sideline report from Brian Morris. Catch us up, Brian.
Yeah, guys, the refs are over there talking about it, so I'm with you. It wasn't a screen pass, so if it was a lineman downfield, he just went downfield on his own, but there's a lot of discussion going on between the refs.
And Brian, the flag came down as the ball was in the air and, of course, thrown out of bounds. We'll get the ruling here from the official.
Personal foul. blindside block on the defense.
They got a blindside block on the Maroons, is what they're calling it. I didn't catch the number.
It was on I think Bonanno. But I've never heard of a defense being called for a blindside block unless it was like a return.
Right. Unless he was, I don't understand how you can be blocking in that situation. Now, sometimes, you have a defender may pick off an offensive lineman on a scrape play and let someone else get up there, but that's a first for me as well.
All right, half the distance to the goal. First and goal now for DCG. Blitz is on for Dowling. They fire it out, and it's caught. And that is the tailback Grimm out of the backfield, and he's hit and dropped right at the point of attack and lost a yard back to the 7-yard line. So well defended by the Maroons. Bring up second and goal at the 7.
It was well defended. That was Jeremiah Roberson coming up there and making a play. Was that Grimm that was out there catching that pass? Yep. And he got to him right away. Good play by him. But again, Engel was under pressure and had to get rid of the ball under duress.
All right, it'll bring up second down and goal at the 6, and I think, we got a problem on the sideline. And Brian, I don't know if you're near there, but
they're talking to the chain gang guys. I think where they were having the chains, like from a first down perspective. So it looks like they got it straightened out.
Please put 603.
So they're going to put 4 seconds back on the clock, and it's not second and goal because of that penalty. It's half the distance, so it is second down, and they're going to call it 6.
Okay.
As DCG can get a first down at the Dowling 2, so that's what that was all about. And now handoff goes to Grimm, and he's hit and stood up again back at the 10-yard line. He's going to lose a few more yards here, Matt. A 3-yard loss to the 10-yard line.
That's right. Ryan Bobo back there to almost take the handoff from Engel as Grimm was met right away in the backfield as Bobo came off the defensive right edge untouched and into the backfield, makes a negative play for the Maroons.
So it'll bring up third down, and they're going to call it 9. As DCG can get a first down inside the 2-yard line. They have 2 receivers left, one to the right. DCG at the one at the back. Blitz is on by Dowling. Back to throw his Engel, and he's being chased, and he'll dump it off. And the pass did not go past the line of scrimmage, and that should be intentional grounding. Let's see.
You got the rubber coming up right where he hit it, and it looks to be it's way behind the line of scrimmage.
And officials now are telling they told the referee.
Drop it. Yeah.
That looked like the right call over there, Brian?
It was. The ball did not get to the line of scrimmage. And, again, just maybe the pressure he's getting from Bobo every time, and he takes off to that one side of the field. But that was just probably a bad mental mistake because that's going to cost him.
It cost him a down.
Yeah, down and yardage, too.
And a lot of yards. And that almost puts him out of field goal. Well, the kid his first kick had the distance just a little bit to the left, and this is going to make it this is going to be a 47, 48-yard field goal.
Well, he missed from 46, but he had the distance, but he just couldn't get it between the uprights.
Well, they're going to bring this back a little bit farther, so it's going to be
back to the 36-yard line on the penalty.
This is a 50. This is going to be 54 yards.
Oh, that 54 reminds me of a number from Saturday.
Brian, you just keep waiting.
Guys, last time it was a bad snap too.
Yeah,
that's true. It was a low snap. This one's from the left hash. And this will be
he got blocked.
The kick is blocked.
You can return that.
And that is
he's going to return
Capola,
it. And no one's there.
Maddox Capola down the far sideline. He's all the way down the near sideline inside the 30, and he's roughed out of bounds. Nice job by the Maroons as they returned a blocked field goal. So, gentlemen, we've had a blocked punt. We've had a blocked field goal, and Dowling in business, 1st and 10 at the Dallas Center Grimes 29-yard line.
You could see everybody starting to run off the field, and I'm sure the coaches were all over there yelling, run it, because it's a live ball for the defense, and Maddox kind of looking around going, okay, I'm going to listen, I'm going to run.
No whistle.
Yeah, because it's not like a punt. Kids think it's like a punt. Because the punt, if it's blocked, you can't. You still can return it.
And Brian, if you can find out who blocked the punt, that would be great while we call the play here. So first down, Dowling at the 28-yard line of DCG. Handoff Middleton left side. Spins out of a tackle, still on his feet, and he's down near the 27-yard line. That's 1 hard yard that he earned, 2nd and 9.
That was a tough run, and Middleton gets 2 yards and all of it on him. And, it's almost like Dallas Center Grimes. I got to do a little better job watch what the linebackers do. It's almost like a run blitz in some regards. They are plugging things up front.
And that's kind of what it is, Matt, that they run a lot of run blitzes, and sometimes they turn into a regular blitz. Dowling will go play action, fires it out, and it is caught by Drexler. He may go into the end zone. He does! Touchdown, Drexler. They left him alone. Kind of a skinny post right over the middle. Sam caught it. Touchdown, Dowling from 27 yards out, and Dowling strikes first.
And people may wonder, what's a run blitz? Well, what you're doing in a run blitz situation is you've got your defensive linemen. They run with 4 down linemen. They're all responsible for a gap. You're going to bring a couple linebackers into the other gaps, and what happens to you is you don't have anybody in the slot down the seam to cover Sam Drexler, and that's why they take advantage of it right there, and it's a touchdown.
So Dowling goes 2 plays and 28 yards. Extra point now by Kuhn, and the kick is up and good. So it's 7-0 Dowling Catholic with the lead after both teams exchanged turnovers here in the first quarter with 4:21 to go. We'll return to Dallas Center Grimes High School after this 1-minute break. Dowling 7 and Dallas Center Grimes nothing on Iowa Catholic Radio.
60 Seconds with Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen.
This universe of ours is a free universe. It is a universe of character making, of soul making. Almighty God has placed into our hands, think of it, the power to make ourselves saints or devils. It is up to us. There are some laws that we cannot disobey, for example, the law of gravitation, certain biological laws like circulation of blood. But in a moral universe, we are free either to obey the laws of God or to disobey them, just as we are perfectly free, for example, to obey the laws of health or to disobey them.
The people you know and trust are on EWTN.
And we're back here at Dallas Center Grimes High School, Grimes, Iowa. History being made tonight. These two teams first meeting in varsity football, and Dowling with the lead 7-0 after Maroons take advantage of a blocked field goal. And Maddox Capola ran it back about 50 yards and got the Maroons in the red zone, and Dowling scoring off 2 plays. They got into the Iowa Wealth Management Red Zone, a fee-only investment advisory firm helping clients grow and protect their wealth. Learn more at iowawealth.com. And now the kickoff returned by DCG, and they'll take over 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line. Let's go down to our sideline guy, Mr. Brian Morris, with the Jenny Farrell team sideline report. And Brian, quite a flurry we've seen here in this first quarter. We've seen everything, it seems like.
Yeah, we have, guys. I was asking on the sideline who got that, and Carlos Blunt said, I think I got it. So I'll take his word for it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
He just wants to get interviewed at the end of the game.
That's all right. The defense has been playing really well tonight, guys.
Yes, they are. And it's a first down, Dallas Center Grimes. 4:19 to go in the first quarter. And they have a first down at their own 26-yard line. And the quarterback is Chase Engel being rushed, and he throws it out. The pass is caught. A little screen pass that goes for negative yardage. He'll lose a yard back to the 25-yard line. Will bring up 2nd and 11. Dowling's all over that. They set up kind of a, as you mentioned, Matt, it's either the screen to the tailback or maybe a flanker screen, possibly a tight end screen, but the Maroons are all over that.
If you're Coach Heitland, you're sitting there going, we don't have time to throw the football. So generally, if a team is that aggressive up front, you can take advantage with the screen. But what Dowling's able to do is they're able to get the pressure with just a few guys, which allows the linebackers to sit back and eat that screen up.
All right, Engel out of the shotgun, low snap, picks it up, hands it off to his tailback. That's Ozzie Grimm getting outside and turns the corner and gets up to about the 28-yard line. So he'll pick up 3, and he'll bring up 3rd down and 7.
Good open field tackle there by Jeremiah Roberson as he's out there at the corner position and was able to seal that up on the narrow side of the field and allow Grimm not to get outside any further.
Give him a gain of 4, so it'll bring up 3rd down from the DCG 29-yard line. 3rd and 7 as we approach the 3-minute mark of the first quarter. Dowling leading 7-0 as the Mustangs come out with 4 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, empty backfield. And now they'll bring in Chase Heitland, stands next to the quarterback. Here's a snap, And Engel back to throw, looks right, now wants to run, and he will. Now runs, and his receiver falls down incomplete as the intended receiver fell down. Joel Sanko was over there on coverage, and it'll bring up 4th down for DCG. So another mistake by the offense.
Chase Engel, a left-handed quarterback, and they're on the right hash, so he's got the left side of the field to roll to. And as a left-handed quarterback, that's not the easiest throw. When you're rolling to the side that you want to throw, that's a little bit harder sometimes, and he's going to want to roll out the other way. And tough play. The receiver got turned around and fell down.
All right, Connor Stolpe goes from linebacker to punter and gets a high short kick. Drexler's going to let it bounce to the 40. Takes the DCG bounce and will be down right at the 30-yard line. That's where Dowling will start. 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. 2:36 remaining. First quarter, Dowling 7, Dallas Center Grimes nothing. Alongside Matt Maindring, I'm Mark Hamadale. Beautiful warm night. Temperature in the mid-80s. Humidity up at 50%. Got a nice breeze. And let's go down into that nice breeze with our Jenny Farrell team Remax Concepts sideline report with Brian Morris. Brian?
Guys, one of the things they're doing, they're blitzing almost every time DCG goes back to pass. So he's getting a defender coming from his left side, his right side. So Dowling's doing a really good job of keeping the DCG offense off balance.
All right, the Dowling offense takes the field, and the Maroons will have Henry Schmid in it, tailback. Dowling goes with the tight end on the right. Nahas at quarterback. Hands off to Schmid. Henry hops a tackle, and he picks up the 1st down and more down the near sideline. Stiff arms someone right at the 45 and carries the ball up to the 47-yard line. A gain of 17.
Nice run by Schmid. He's a kid that disappears a little bit behind that big offensive line, and he squirts. The play looked like it was supposed to go to his left. He comes back to the right. Behind Mitchell and Thomas, and explodes through there. And nice big gain, biggest run play, biggest play offensively on the ground so far.
All right, here's a little toss play, as you meant, a little jet sweep, and that's Jeffrey Roberts turning the corner, and it's up near the line of scrimmage, and that's where he's dropped. They'll give him a gain of 1 up to the 48-yard line. That play went right to left. And Roberts goes in motion right to left, and right as he gets in front of the quarterback, Nahas, he just kind of tosses it to him, doesn't hand off, and it's kind of a jet sweep to left and 1 yard.
1 yard. He ran about 20 yards and got a yard, and that's but with him, he's so dangerous. And that was 1 block away from being a touchdown.
A lot of east-west running there. We like the north-south, especially going south. Here's Dowling.
And that works on this field. It is north-south.
Minute 30 to go, and Dowling has that long to go into the win. Now here's a handoff to Schmid, and I think he picked up the 1st down. They're going to spot it at the 43 of DCG, and that is a 1st down. Henry Schmid off the bench, coming in relief of Ian Middleton.
He's showing a little of that fire. He's got a little explosiveness out of that backfield. I really like his quicks. He is good back there, and shows why he's at that backup position.
There's a snap, and now Nahas will just follow Schmid into the line, and he falls forward inside the 40 to the 39 of DCG. He'll pick up 4.
Yeah, it's almost like a designed quarterback lead play. Nahas is following Schmid up the hole, and was able to get by the linebackers and have a nice run there on 1st down. And that one, they went right behind Cade Krause and Evan Mitchell on that right side, and nice run on 1st down.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Bozen the Florist, Ashworth Vision Clinic, and Construction Professionals. 2nd and 6 Dowling, and now here's the reverse. Handoff goes to Drexler, and he's got a little bit of room, tries to get outside the numbers, and finally hit and drop shy of the 1st down inside the 35 to the 34, gain of 5.
They even pulled a lineman on that one. You had Nahas out there running with it as well, but give Connor Stolpe credit. He cut that play down, and Sam Drexler's not easy to bring down the open field, but he stayed in his lane and was able to take that down because he was the only guy left.
Yeah, Stolpe and Valenta, 2 good backers for DCG. It's 3rd and 1 now for the Maroons. Pistol formation as Dowling will bring in their Quinn Schmolback, moving from tight end to fullback. 2 receivers to the right. From the DCG 34, handoff goes to Schmid, and he stays on his feet, and he gets near a 1st down, depends on the spot. It looks like he may have picked it up.
They're going to give him 4th down. Yeah, at first when the official walked out there, they go, that's a nice favorable spot. Yeah, it's a left foot spot instead of the right foot, but he put it back on the right foot.
Well, we've come to the end of the 1st quarter, so Dowling gets a chance to talk about it. Our score, Dowling 7, Dallas Center Grimes nothing. We'll return to Dallas Center Grimes High School here in Grimes. in 1 minute, and we'll start the second quarter in 1 minute on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Timeout.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the IHSAA and the Iowa High School Athletic Directors Association.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Bozen the Florist. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, weddings, whatever the message, say more with Bozen. Bozen.com, 515-244-ROSE. Bozen makes the moment mean more.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by CTO. Your support has helped thousands of students attend our Catholic schools. CTOiowa.org. At CTO, the bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
All right, we're back here at Dallas Center Grimes High School. Started the second quarter, Dowling with a 4th and 1. The Maroons are going for it. They hand it off to Middleton. Ian just follows his blockers, picks up the first down inside the 30, as the line of scrimmage was the 34, and he picked up a few more yards, maybe inside the 29-yard line. First down, Dowling.
That's one of those where you say, okay, we're bigger than you are, we think, and Ian Middleton's a tough one to bring down. Let's put him behind that group up front and let Cade Krause lead the way and get the yardage.
Picked up 6 yards, first down Maroons. Line of scrimmage, the 28 of Dallas Center Grimes. Pistol formation for Dowling. They go right to left and will have the wind at their back here in this second quarter. The wind blowing out of the south at about 15, maybe 20 miles per hour on a very warm night. Maroons with 2 receivers right. Dowling in their visiting white uniforms with maroon pants, and DCG in all red. Back to throw is Nahas. Throws in the end zone. He's got a man open, but he overthrew him. Incomplete.
It was to his brother, wasn't it?
That was his twin brother. Is that Joey?
Oh,
Jimmy, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was. I think it was number 8.
Yes, it was. Yeah. So the Twins route didn't hook up. So bring up didn't. Second down and 10.
And you could see as soon as Coach Wilson got the wind behind him, he wanted to take a shot right away down the sideline, and and that one he might have overthrown just a hair with that wind behind him. Now you get used to that wind on the tail.
All right, second and 10 Maroons, and this time they'll give it to Schmidt, who's the tailback in for Middleton, and he gets inside the 30, and he's going to be spotted down right about the 28-yard line. So let's see. That'll bring up second down, and I'm going to call it 5 from the 24-yard line.
You know, Smith's giving him a nice little different kind of look than Ian Middleton. Ian Middleton, he's not going to dance around anything. He's going to run you over. Smith's got a little shake at the line of scrimmage and able to find that crease.
All right, Nahas back to throw, looks left, throws left. The ball is tipped and intercepted by DCG. Wyatt Valenta with the pick. He's down the near sideline and finally run out of bounds by Nahas. And Schmid at the Dowling 45-yard line. So an interception that time. And I think the linebacker started reading Joey's eyes.
Yeah, he did. And, he's a tight end. And so, he's one of those two-way players for DCG. And he's sitting out there. He read that play, and he's got tight end hands. And he went up there and got it and raced down the sideline now here and flips the field, puts this Dowling defense in defending their own goal now. And here they go. They got to go to work.
All right, first and 10, DCG at the Dowling 45. Let's go down to our Jenny Farrell sideline report with Brian Morris. Brian?
If that was on Sports Center, guys, he made a one-handed catch on that.
Yeah.
It was a great play by him. He did read Nahas's eyes. Jimmy was looking over there, or Joey was looking over the whole time.
Yeah, he was. So it's first down, Dallas Center Grimes. And back to throw is Engel at quarterback, fires over the middle, and that pass is caught. First down. A nice pass that time by Chase Engel to Gabe Wright, their fastest player as a receiver. He's got a first down at the Dowling 27.
Yeah, the 5'10 sophomore, Gabe Wright, got out into the field and got into the middle of the field on a little post route, and Engel put it right on him, and it's a big play for him as they keep this drive going. Jordan Watson with the tackle.
18-yard gain, first and 10, Dallas Center Grimes at the Dowling 27-yard line. 10:05 remaining, second quarter. Dowling leading 7-0. Engel back to throw, and I think he's going to be sacked. He threw it away, and that'll be intentional ground. He did not go past the line of scrimmage again, and the Maroons will get the ball in great shape and lost it down here, Matt.
No, they're going to say there was a receiver in the area.
Ooh, okay.
And they're not going to give him the intentional grounding. And he's
lucky
that ball, it's one of those things pretty soon that's going to come out like a fumble or a backwards pass. And they caught a little break there.
Goes as incomplete.
Yep.
So 2nd and 10. Got the cart ahead of the horse. Apologize for that. 2nd and 10, DCG at the Dowling 27-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 in the backfield, and that's Grimm. He gets the handoff, tries to bounce it outside, slips a tackle, now turns the corner at the 20, still on his feet, and he's run out of bounds at the 17-yard line. That should be good enough for a first down, depending on the spot over there as he's run out of bounds.
Yeah, Joel Sanko missed him in the backfield as he went up he's the seal guy on that to keep him contained, and just missed him and allowed Grimm to flip out to the side, and big gain for DCG, and it moves the chains.
That's a 10-yard gain and a first down DCG at the Dowling 17. Mustangs with 2 receivers right and 1 back in the backfield. That's Grimm. He goes right up over center, and he's hit, and he falls forward down to the 10, call it the 11-yard line, gain of 6.
Yeah, nice run there by them. They found a little crease in that defense, and Carlos Blount makes the stop, but it's not until after he gets 5-6 yards in the A-gap, and on the A-gap on that right side, running behind, it looks like Fuller and Montford there at the right guard and right tackle.
So to bring up 2nd down 4, Dallas Center Grimes at the Dowling 11. Engel at quarterback, and he fakes the handoff, fires over the middle, and overthrew everybody, incomplete as he airmailed that one. Intended receiver was Gabe Wright coming from the left side of the formation, and he was one-on-one with the Dowling defender there.
He was, and you're starting to see, because they know they can't drop back, and you see a lot more 3-step drop. He's getting it 3 steps, get the ball out, 3 steps, get the ball out, and so it's got to be those quick hitters. That's the only way they're going to have success. Coach Heitland's figuring at this point.
3rd down and 4 for Dallas Center Grimes. They're at the Dowling 11. Yes, they can get a first down just inside the 7-yard line. Now the Mustangs will send a bunch group to the left, 3 receivers to the left of the formation, and now we're going to have to call timeout, and they will. So timeout, Dallas Center Grimes will take one with them. 9:19 to go, 2nd quarter. Dowling 7, Dallas Center Grimes nothing. Back in 1 minute along the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
This is Dale Ahlquist with a Chesterton Minute. Have you ever heard people say that Christianity is barbaric, that it arose in ignorance? Well, G.K. Chesterton says that as a matter of historical fact, it didn't. It arose in the most civilized period the world has ever seen. It arose precisely at the intersection of 3 great civilizations, Athens, Rome, and Jerusalem. It combined the philosophy of the first 2 with the faith of the third. So what's the real reason the opponents of Christianity do not believe it? It's not because it's barbaric and ignorant. It's not even because it's civilized and sophisticated. It's because, as Chesterton says, opponents of Christianity would believe anything except Christianity. Want more than a minute? Visit us at chesterton.org.
All right, we're back here at Dallas Center Grimes High School in Grimes. It's 3rd and 4, Dallas Center Grimes at the Dowling 11. The Maroons lead it 7-0, 9:19 to go, and now we've got a timeout, Dowling. So we'll keep it here. A little chess match going on between the 2 teams. Both teams burning a timeout. Dowling trying to protect the 7-0 lead. Let's go down to our Jenny Farrell sideline report, and that is Brian Morris on the sideline. Brian?
Yeah, guys, I think Dowling defensive coordinator Adam Jack came running down the sideline to call a timeout. It must have been something that DCG maybe came out in that maybe Dowling hadn't seen before. So, again, you got to use those timeouts strategically, and you want to keep the points off the board right here.
Yeah, no question. We appreciate Brian, part of the Jenny Farrell team at RE/MAX Concepts, have been helping generations of Dowling Catholic families with their real estate investments for almost 30 years. Learn more at jenniferfarrell.remax.com. Matt Maindring, chess match going on right now with the coaching staffs.
I think they thought something else. Obviously, they thought something else was going to come out and didn't like the adjustment that the defense made. You can see the players talk to each other, changing the call on the field, and Coach Jack didn't like what was set, and so now he's got the kids reset, and here we go.
All right. as Chase Engel, the 6'3", 195-pound junior quarterback, sets the DCG offense. And they have one receiver to the right. They hand off a little jet sweep. They try to turn the corner, and hit and drop is the ball carrier, Chase Heitland. And they'll bring up, he'll lose yardage back to the, let's see, nope, they're going to mark him at the 10. Gain of 1, so they'll bring up 4th down.
Anthony Bonanno stayed home and made an outstanding play out there on the left edge, and they shifted the tight end and the slot back over to the right, from the left side to the right side, which was the wide side of the field, and then ran the jet sweep that way, and the speed of the Dowling defense rallied to the football, and Bonanno makes a play.
Well, looks like DCG is going to go for it. 4th down and 3 from the Dowling 10-yard line, 8:40 on the game clock. 2 receivers to the left. That is Chase Heitland, number 3, and Gabe Wright, number 5. Back to throw is Engel, and he throws the ball out, and the pass is incomplete. And DCG will turn the ball over on downs as he threw it in an area where there was a lot of white shirts from Dowling, Matt.
I think Kyle Schumacher's eyes got about as big as beach balls right there, but the ball got tipped by another Dowling defender. Otherwise, it might have caught Schumacher in stride. There were 2 defenders right there out in the flats, and no chance for to complete that.
So the Maroons will take over 1st and 10 from their own 10-yard line. 8:28 to go here in the second quarter, 7-0 Dowling. Let's go down to our Jenny Farrell sideline reporter, and that is Brian Morris. Big play by the Dowling defense once again in this first half, Brian.
Yeah, the defense is really playing really well tonight, guys, really causing havoc in the backfield. But that really showed me a lot that I think DCG coach said, why not go for it here? I don't think 3 points is going to matter in this game. Let's go get a touchdown and tie it up.
All right, Joey Nahas at quarterback. Last time in, he threw the interception. Back to throw he goes. Goes to the right, fires it out, and that pass is caught. And a nice play by Drexler, and he gets him out of enemy territory from the 10-yard line, brings it up to about the 22-yard line, a gain of 12.
A gain of 12, and I would be surprised if Dowling goes a little bit more up-tempo right here and tries to change the pace, because it's really kind of plodded along, and to only have 7 points at this point, the Dallas Center Grimes defense has been playing well, but they've been on the field a lot.
Well, you have the 3 big receivers, Drexler, Roberts, and Nahas split out wide left. Dowling going right to left. The wind at their back. South to north here at this DCG field. Hand up at the middle is Middleton. He kind of scampers across the line of scrimmage and bowls his way up to the 31, maybe 32-yard line.
He did, and you know, the front for Dallas Center Grimes is, just creating a pile. And that's what I kind of like to say. If you get against a good run team like Dowling, and even in this zone read stuff, is you just want to make a pile up there and make much wreckage as you can so the running back can't dance through.
5-yard gain by Middleton, and they hand it off to him again from the 32-yard line, and he goes right up the gut, and he's maybe about a yard shy of the first down. Or near. He did get it.
Yeah,
must have been left foot, right foot, first down Maroons.
He rolled through it, and you can see right now they're going to get right back up to it here as they've found a little something. And Ian Middleton says, remember me, I can run the football too.
Well, Middleton's carried the ball for 5, and that time 6 yards. And here's a little jet sweep. They give it to Jeffrey Roberts trying to turn the corner, and he's drugged down right at the 42, maybe 41-yard line, gain of 3.
I think that was Drexler. So that was Drexler.
It was,
motion.
okay.
Yep. And so Drexler gets out there, lead blocked by Middleton out there on the edge, and nice pickup on second down. And here Dowling is back in formation, ready to reload.
And they give him 4 yards from the 42. Second and 6. A handoff up the middle. That's Middleton still on his feet, and he's got the first down across midfield into Dallas Center Grimes Mustang territory.
And this is why you want to go tempo. And that offensive line's right back up on the ball again. And Ian Middleton says, just feed me. And right now he is running through this defense.
1st and 10, Dowling. Hand off goes to Middleton. Spins out of a tackle at midfield. Still on his feet. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that should have been a loss, but it wasn't.
Yeah, he's tough to bring down one-on-one. And even though Stolpe got him in the backfield, he spun out of it, but he had the rest of his team there to rally to it and make the play.
So no gain of the play officially. It'll bring up second down and 10 for the Maroons. Dowling at the Dallas Center Grimes 47-yard line. Maroons lead it 7-0. 6:15 to go here in the second quarter. 2 receivers left, tied in on the right, and now Drexler goes in motion. The 3 receivers to the left. And Nahas gives it to Middleton. Ian blasts his way across the 45 down inside the 43-yard line, and he picked up the first down. What a hard hit Middleton laid, and he's got to go out for a play. He lost his helmet on that hit.
Yeah, Stolpe and Stolpe, those are two strong young men, ran into each other at the line of scrimmage, and Middleton won that battle and run him over, and to finish going forward, getting a positive play out of that.
4-yard gain, and Middleton has to sit out one play, so they will get Schmidt in there for, I believe that's Schmidt, as DCG shows blitz. It's 3rd and 5 for the Maroons at the DCG 43. Now Nahas checking down. Here's a snap. Blitz is on, and the handoff goes to Schmidt, and he's got the first down inside the 30, Matt, and they're going to bring him down at the 25, right up the gut over center.
I was thinking the same thing, because it's 4-down territory, and Schmidt is able to run right through Cade and Evan Mitchell at the left side. That one was more almost like a draw play up the middle, design run right away, and Schmidt hit it behind Mitchell or behind Miller and Barrett that time.
18-yard run for Henry Schmidt. First down, Dowling. Handoff again to Schmidt. He goes over the left side and gets a couple from the DCG 25 down to around the 23, a gain of 2.
And Ian Middleton comes back in the game. Schmidt goes out, and you can see how this tempo, and all of a sudden the run game, and that offensive line is starting to wear the other team down.
Wear them down, and then you got the two-way players playing linebacker, and you're kind of wearing them down because they got to turn around and play offense. So they haven't got much of a break for DCG, and we're speaking about Valenta, who had the interception, and Heidgerken, the corner. 2nd and 7, Dowling from the 23. Penalty flags down. The ball is tipped and incomplete. As I don't know what happened there. A lot of deflection there, and another helmet almost came off, but it'll bring up 3rd down and 7. They're going to call it for the Maroons.
Yeah, and Stolpe gets up a little gimpy after that, but he kind of got the worst of that, even though I think it was number 87, because it was over to the left side or right side of their
That's Lampy.
defense. Lampy, he's a 6'3", 210-pound senior. I think he got a hand on that ball and tipped straight up in the air. Dowling's fortunate it wasn't intercepted.
And goes incomplete as the ball was deflected. And now here is a 3rd and 7 play for Dowling at the 22 of DCG. Back to throw is Nahas. Rolls to his right, still on his feet, wants to throw. Penalty flag down, and so goes Nahas. Back at the 26 or 7-yard line, and that'll bring up 4th down. Let's see what the penalty's about.
You got to think it's going to be a holding out there as he escaped the pocket, and that's where the offensive lineman will sometimes just grab on a little bit. This is an interesting call because Dowling's in a position where they could go for it on 4th down if it's 4th and 10 or.
Yeah, Coach Heitland's talking to the head linesman here, and they're trying to get it relayed.
Yeah, he's going to back him up. I kind of thought they might do that and try to take him out of field goal position.
On the offense, number 66.
So they're going to get 66 for Dowling on the hold, and that being Max Thomas, the right tackle. So that'll back him up 5 yards.
So now it brings up a 3rd and almost 20. Looks like 18.
It's from the spot, so they'll be back to the 32-yard line, it looks like. So 10-yard penalty, excuse me, I said 5. It's a 10-yard penalty. And a down over. So 3rd and 17. They hand it off to Middleton. Ian up the middle, still on his feet. Spins out of a tackle, and a penalty flag down back at the 30. And Middleton goes down at the 22. And he'd be shy of the first down.
This might be a chop block because I saw two Dowling offensive linemen huddled over a DCG kid.
All right, let's go down to Brian Morris with our Jenny Farrell report. Brian?
It looks like it's going to be about 3rd and Norwalk here, guys, because it's going to be about 29 yards. But, it's funny because last week was pretty penalty-free. This week we have had a lot of yellow flags on the field.
Well, this will set Dowling back to the 41 on another holding penalty. So back-to-back holds. That's all right. Early in the first quarter, we saw back-to-back offsides. So it's on DCG. So thank you, Brian, for that sideline report from Jenny Farrell. 3rd down, 27, back at the 41 of DCG. Runs with 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Back to throw Nahas. Looks right, throws right. Pass is caught at the 30-yard line, and that's to his twin brother, Jimmy, and he'd be shy of the first down. So bring up 4th down here.
Yeah, he was just looking at getting some yardage back and put him into a position where they could kick the field goal, and they do have the field goal unit out there for a 46-yard field goal.
Yep, they'll spot it down at the 36-yard line on the right hash. Wind at his back, and that is Kuhn. The holder is McConville. The kick is up, and it is good, just over the crossbar, and Dowling leads at 10-0.
Great kick.
Wow.
It's not about how pretty it is sometimes. It just still gets through there, and nice kick, good field goal, and puts the Maroons up 10-0.
Ryan Kuhn with the field goal of 36 yards. So,
46.
Or 46, excuse me. And Dowling leads at 10-0. How about that, Brian Morris? We'll keep it here.
Yeah, Dowling had the wind behind him, so it definitely helped on that. Let's see what the Maroons can do in the last 3:22. Again, I think this defense has played outstanding this first half against the Mustangs. A lot of blitzing going on here on the defensive end.
Well, now it's about conditioning, Brian, because we come to the end of the first half. Timeouts remaining. Dowling has 2. Yeah, they have 2, and BCG has 1. But what's the conditioning look like? You're right amongst the Dowling players.
You guys said it right. The up-tempo offense really helped that drive, I thought. Again, those penalties don't help. But DCG, some of those two-way players, you could tell they were getting a little gassed out here.
All right, 10-0 Maroons on a Ryan Kuhn field goal. So Kuhn has 4 of Dowling's 10 points tonight. And here's the kickoff, little pooch kick by Kuhn.
Oh, yeah, that puts it in danger.
And that rolls inside the 10, picked up at the 7 by DCG on the return, and he is hit and dropped right about the 15, 17-yard line. They'll say he got forward progress, and that's where DCG will take over 1st and 10. Dowling 10, DCG nothing with 3:15 to go here in the first half. Mark Amadale, Matt Maindring, and Brian Morris on the Dowling sideline as the DCG offense coming on the field here, Matt.
Yeah, Heidgerken on the return there, and nice kick there to get him pinned down in there. Now, I'm glad Brian said something about the time because we can't see it. It's hard for us to see. Well, I guess it is on this game clock over here.
Oh, there you go.
But right now you're trying to get a 3-and-out, get the ball back, and give yourself a shot here.
First down, DCG on their own 17-yard line. As they'll come out with their quarterback, and that is Chase Engel, and the handoff up the middle, and that's Grimm with it, and it's up near a first down. Goes from his own 17 across the 20, and call him down at the 25 for a gain of 8.
Nice run there by Grimm, and to create a 2nd and short, and right now Coach Heitland's going, give me a first down, and maybe even one more, and that might grind this thing out a little bit so Dowling doesn't get a touch, because I believe Dallas Center gets the ball to start the second half.
Yes, they do. They deferred to the second half. Handoff goes to Grimm again over the left side, and it's across the 25 up to the 27.
They're going to give him the first down on. Yeah, they did. They moved chains. Bobo came all the way from across the formation, and squeezed that thing down and was able to tackle him right just beyond the line of scrimmage. But Grimm did get enough for a first down.
He needed 2 and got 2. So 1st and 10, DCG. Coming up at halftime, Ron Gray is my halftime interview. Caught up with Mr. Gray the other day, and we taped our segment about boys golf, so stay tuned for that. Nice segment there. Back to throw is Engel, and now being chased. The left-hander throws across his body, and the pass is caught and dropped. Incomplete. Had it. Man, when you throw across your body, you're losing stuff on the ball.
Earlier I said it wrong. For Engel, rolling to his left is easier for him to throw the football than rolling to his right. And that time he had to roll to his right because as a left-handed quarterback, you have to throw back across your body. And what's the one thing they always say when you're a quarterback? Don't throw it across your body over the middle of the field. And he did. He took a gamble right there.
He did. Valenda was the intended receiver. His tight end came back for it, but it wasn't enough. Dowling broke it up and separated the ball. 2nd and 10. DCG from their own 27. 2:05 to go in the half. 1 timeout remaining. Handoff goes to Grimm, and he's got the first down as he's tripped up right at the 37-yard line. Nice run of 10 yards for the tailback.
Yeah, picks up another first down, and any visions of Dowling thinking they might get the football back, he just kind of disappeared. Now Coach Heitland's going, we can get this thing in field goal range.
And he's got a guy that can kick it too, but he's going to kick it into the wind. Hand off to Grimm, looking for his seam, bounces outside and gets up to the 40-yard line, tackled out of bounds on the Dowling sideline across the way.
Ran back to the narrow side there as they're on the left hash. He ran it back towards Dowling's sideline. And one thing with Dowling's speed on defense, that slow developing play, that's going to be a little hard for them to pull off. And they're just letting the clock tick down. You're down to 1:29 left, Dowling up 10-0 here in the second quarter.
All right, Engel at quarterback, 3 receivers to the right. Back to throw is Chase Engel. Fires it out. Pass is caught right at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
And there they were fortunate, or Dowling, from Dowling's standpoint at least, they're fortunate because he got out of bounds, so it stops the clock with 1:17 left, and now it's 3rd and long. Now you're sitting here. Now you might be able to get the ball back with a minute to go if you can get an out here.
Well, the Mustangs have 1 timeout remaining, and the ball's actually lost a half yard. It's on the other side of the 40. It went from one side of the 40 back to the other, so loss of about a half a yard. And it brings up 3rd and 8 for the Mustangs. 3 receivers right. Back to throw is Engel. Looks over the middle, fires it, and the ball is tipped and incomplete. There's a couple of Dowling players right there about a second or two late. One of them, Joel Sanko, and it'll bring up 4th down. The punting unit coming in for DCG.
With 1:12 to go, Dowling has on the scoreboard two timeouts left.
Outs left.
Okay, 2 timeouts left, and so now you're going into your 2-minute drill, trying to work your way down the field and win behind your back to get in field goal position with Drexler standing on the 27.
All right, the linebacker comes in to punt, and that's Connor Stolpe. It's it away, line drive kick, and hits the 30 and takes a roll. Picked up by Drexler. Sammy trying to get outside, looking for a block. Turns the corner, and he's hit and dropped right at the 34-yard line. That's where Dowling will have it, 1st and 10 from their own 34 with 58 seconds remaining here in the first half. Dowling 10 and Dallas Center Grimes nothing here at Dallas Center Grimes High School. Let's go down to our Jenny Farrell sideline report, and that is with Brian Morris, who, by the way, will be interviewing Coach Wilson at halftime. Brian?
Yeah, guys, that one, Sam Drexler, it was a line drive punt, which into this win was probably a good punt. And he was just, I could see his eyes. He was waiting for the ball to kind of bounce, and then it bounced right up to him. So it got about 12 yards on that return to give Dowling a fighting chance here.
Yeah, he did a nice job playing shortstop. I'll give him that. 1st and 10 Maroons. Dowling offense on the field. Nahas at quarterback. He's got 3 receivers to right. Back to throw. Wants to throw right. Now looks to his left, and he throws it away incomplete. Jeffrey Roberts was the nearest receiver, and he was well defended by Heidgerken of DCG. Brings up 2nd and 10. You live for another down, Matt.
Live for another down, and what they were doing there is they put 2 guys at the corner with safety over top, over Roberts. He had double coverage, and they were manned up on the outside on the other trips, and so they had everything covered up on that one.
All right, here's Nahas under center, hands off to Middleton. Ian's got the 1st down, and he's near midfield. Finally tripped up at the 45-yard line, and he was one tackle away, one arm tackle away from scoring, and it moves it up to the 45-yard line.
And they're back up to the line of scrimmage. Clock stops to reset the chains. 44 seconds left.
And here they hand it off to Middleton again, across midfield, still on his feet, hops a tackle, and finally brought down at the 43-yard line of DCG.
And it's another 1st down, so the clock is stopped with 32 seconds to go. Dowling will get back up on the ball here at the 43-yard line with 28 ticks left. Well, they got the clock started already.
1st down, Dowling. Back to throw. Nahas fires it out. Caught by Jeffrey Roberts. Slips a tackle down the near sideline. He might go, and he does. Touchdown, Dowling. Jeffrey Roberts. And I mean, he was tiptoeing down the DCG sideline, and he scores from 43 yards out with 14 seconds remaining, Matt.
You don't need much time.
Wow.
Jeffrey Roberts gets the ball quickly. Nahas put it on him in a hurry, and there's 2, like I said, they were doing double coverage on him. He stiff arms the first one away and then is able to spin through the second defender, and then he's got open field and runs down the sideline. And you're right, he was tiptoeing.
All right, here is the extra point by Ryan Kuhn, and the ball is down. The kick is up and good on the hold by Owen McConville and Jack McLaughlin, the long snapper. Dowling now leading 17-0 over Dallas Center Grimes with 14 seconds remaining in the first half. We'll be back at DCG Stadium in 1 minute along the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and urgent eye issues. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formal Wear, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formal Wear, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Support for programming is provided by Construction Professionals, serving customers through a proven process, creating unique design, functionality, and artistic beauty. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. cpcustomhomes.com.
Every single snap,
Inside the 40, down the near sideline, Sammy Drexler, touchdown Maroons from 69 yards.
your Maroon Cruise Station, 105.5 KIHS.
KIHS, Perry, KDVM, Mason City, KCSL, Spencer.
All right, we're back here at Dallas Center Grimes High School. The kickoff by Dowling, returned by Dallas Center Grimes up to across the 30, maybe the 31-yard line. But Dowling now striking with 14 seconds remaining in the half. 4 plays, 66-yard drive, capped off by Jeffrey Roberts. 43-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Joey Nahas, his second touchdown pass tonight. Let's go down to our Jenny Farrell sideline reporter, Mr. Brian Morris. Brian, we had a good look at it. I know you didn't over there, but he tiptoed down that sideline most of the way.
Yeah, and again, it's hard to make a one-on-one tackle there in the flat for the DCG defender, and Jeffrey Roberts did a nice job of, as you mentioned, Mark, shaking him off. And once he gets those jets going, guys, I don't know if there's anybody that's going to catch him.
Well, he got by the safety, and it was all over, and that'll do it. They'll take a knee, and I know, Brian, you're going to catch up with Coach Wilson. We'll let you do that. Dowling leading at halftime, as we've come to halftime here at Dallas Center Grimes High School in Grimes, 17-0. Dowling with the lead. The Maroons will, they're going to the locker room. They're going to stay outside because it is warm out here, so we'll see how that goes. But let's go down to Brian Morris with head coach Tom Wilson here at the half.
Coach, defense came out, just really played very well in that first half against this DCG offense.
Yeah, they have done a good job. We sure haven't offensively, but defensively, they had their backs to the wall a couple of times and haven't allowed any points.
You got the running game going there later in the second half. It looked like the linemen were opening up some holes. Then Jeffrey Roberts come through with a big play there to get the team right before half.
Jeffrey can do that in a blink of an eye.
Good luck, Coach, second half.
All right, Brian Morris, thank you with catching up with head coach Tom Wilson as Dowling leads it here at halftime by the score of 17-0. First meeting between the two teams, and as our man, are you getting a you have it? Yeah, I don't know if I put you back on the list because I took you off last week, and
I'm gone 1 week and I'm off the list.
Well, no, he's on. You're on here now.
Oh, okay, I got it.
So. Yeah,
I didn't get it in West Virginia. I know that. So.
Yeah, well, I told him not to do it because you were in the mountains and maybe not getting reception. But all right, 17-0 Dowling here at halftime. And Matt, you want to go through the stats real quick before we go to our break?
11 first downs for the Maroons and 21 rushes for 120 yards for an average of 5.7 yards per rush. Nahas was 8 of 17 with 1 interception and 1 touchdown. And then for a total of 112 yards passing, so 232 yards of total offense, 3 of 11 on third down conversion. Now for the DCG, for the Mustangs, they had 7 first down, 11 rushes for 51 yards for 4.5 yards per rush, and then 4 of 15 passing, no interceptions, 17 total yards passing. So that means their total offense, they ran 26 plays for a total of 68 yards. That defense came to play, and their third down conversions, they're 0 of 6 at this point. And like I said Joey Nahas, 8 of 17 for 112 yards. Drexler, 3 catches for 48. Roberts, 3 for 45, and Nahas, 2 for 19. Ian Middleton, 11 rushes for 63 yards. And the juice in that first half, Henry Smith, 6 rushes for 49 yards. And so he really came in and did an outstanding job.
So for Nahas, he threw an interception and he threw for 2 touchdowns. So that's some of his numbers that wasn't included there, Matt. All right, we're going to take a break. I want to thank our supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio. They include Fast Signs and Clive, Skeffton's Formal Wear, and the Catholic Tuition Organization. And we'll take a 1-minute break. Vinny Cataldo is our studio producer on this Friday night. Thanks, Vinny, for holding down the fort back at the Iowa Catholic Radio Studios in West Des Moines. But we're out here in Grimes, Iowa, and Dowling leading to halftime, 17-0 over Dallas Center Grimes. We'll take a 1-minute break and return with our interview with head coach Ron Gray, the Dowling boys golf coach, after this.
Thought of the Day with Monsignor Frank Bagnano.
The disciples of Jesus asked him to teach them how to pray, so he taught them what we call the Lord's Prayer. And that prayer is the perfect prayer. It contains everything a prayer should have. Pray it devoutly. think about what you are praying. For example, the first words are directed not to a stern judge or an indifferent higher power who may or may not be listening to you or me. No, God is a loving, caring, providential, powerful, gentle Father, more than any earthly father. A father whom St. Paul called Abba, or we would say Dada or Papa, baby talk. Yes, our Abba, our Papa is our God. Get that one straight, and all the rest makes sense. Then we allow God's gentle, strong arms to surround us. The Our Father is a strong hand of our Father to guide us. The perfect prayer, the Our Father. And that's today's thought of the day.
And welcome back to Dallas Center Grimes High School here in Grimes, Iowa. Week 3 of the Iowa high school football season. Dowling leading at halftime, 17-0 over Dallas Center Grimes. Well, earlier I caught up with Ron Gray, the head boys golf coach at Dowling Catholic. He's also the girls golf coach in the spring, but this right now, the fall golf season going on. And here's a conversation I had with Mr. Ron Gray. Visiting with the head boys golf coach at Dowling Catholic, Ron Gray, here at halftime. And Coach Gray, welcome, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, Coach, many years you've been part of this Dowling staff, either as a teacher and coach, and now back to just coach and no teaching. So how's it feel to be semi-retired?
Well, people ask me about that all the time. What do you think about retirement? My standard reply is, I highly recommend it.
Well, yeah, I know you filled the voids. You have a place up in Canada and a few places you like to go fishing, but right now you're fishing for golf balls, and you got one of the top teams in state in Class 4A. As boys golf is going on right now, girls golf still in the spring. Yes. They haven't moved that yet like they did tennis, and the tennis is all going on right now, but boys golf in the fall, and you're in quite the battle, and you're just past the midway point of the year.
Yeah, that's we got a nice collection of kids. They're doing a really nice job, but I'll tell you what, it is unbelievable the amount of talent out there of individuals and teams. Just, I talked to other coaches. They said, 5 years ago, if you shot 300, you were pretty competitive. Now 300 puts you middle of the pack.
That tells you how the kids have taken to this golf. The youth golf has really picked up, and most of these kids can beat their dads and their uncles and their grandparents. So what does that tell you about high school golf?
It is so competitive. I tell you, golf in general has exploded since COVID because everybody likes to be outside, and it's unbelievable. It's hard to get playing time on the course. It's hard to get practice places, and it's just tough. We're very fortunate that Rocky Sposato at Terrace Hills does a great job helping us facilitate our practices and our meets, and then the Chido family down at our freshmen sophomores are at Blank, and we're very blessed to be working there. It's we work our way in somehow.
Well, we're glad to have you tonight as we talk to you at halftime, because you're kind of like a week off, so to speak. You used to go meet during the week and maybe on the weekends, and now you don't have your next meet until I believe this coming Tuesday when you have the varsity tournament. You go to Cedar Rapids and play at the country club. So you've got about 7 meets in, and I think the worst you've placed has been third. But you look at around here, Waukee Northwest ranked in the top 5. You're in the top 5. Valley, Johnson, who's the defending champs, up there in the top 10. And you got Waukee and DCG, who Dowling is playing tonight in football, all up there in the top 20. So golf is very prevalent, but you've been in some pretty good tournaments with this group of kids.
Well, I think our conference has 9 teams, and I think probably all of them are in the top 20 in the state, and probably 7 or 8 are in the top 10. So, I mean, it's a brutal conference that we're going through. And I think, our kids are holding up pretty well right now. We had a good day on Tuesday. We played Waukee Northwest and Valley, and I'll tell you what, there was a lot of good golf out there. And the third place team shot 288. That averages 72 each. So, fortunately, we weren't third.
But again, very competitive, and these young men do a great job. And let's talk about the Dowling team that is ranked right now in the top 5 in the state, depending on which rankings you want to use and what time, which poll you want to use. But I think that's great. But your team's made up of 4 seniors, 1 junior, a couple of sophomores, and a freshman who's placed in the top 4. And for our listeners that are listening tonight, you place 6 in a meet, but you only count the top 4. So picking that top 6 is that's good. That's good for you to kind of work at. I'd come out of retirement, it's like, who's going to be my top 6 today at this course? Is it a long course, shorter course? So that's been the trick this year, hasn't it?
Well, the big thing is we let the kids decide that through playoffs and through their play on the course. And so, yeah, it's been pretty good season so far. The kids are doing a good job. They're I think we got a couple senior co-captains in AJ Sposato and Dual Anderson, and Dual had a great day Tuesday. He shot 5 under par over at Terrace Hills and had a great, and AJ Sposato shot 2 under par, and they've been our leaders throughout the entire fall. And then Dual's younger brother Elijah is our number 3. He's a freshman. He's a real pleasant surprise. We're not maybe a surprise to some people, but we knew he was going to be pretty good coming in. And then Charlie DePhillips is a sophomore, and last year at the district, he was district runner-up for medalist and shot a 3 under par. He did a really good job. And then one other senior is Ryan Fitzgerald. He's done a great job. He shot even par on Tuesday. I mean, he's done a great job last year. He's done a great job this year. And then we had Sammy Clark, who's played our number 6 a lot of the times. Vince Latino, seniors, played in the number 6 slot too. Lucas McNulty, junior, is played in the number 6 slot. We're still trying to figure out that number 6. We're pretty well set with our top 5, and hopefully, you only need 4 out of the 6 to count. But we tell our kids 5 and 6 are important, because if it's a tie, the tiebreaker is what's the score of your number 5 player versus the other teams, or if it's tied, then what's the score of your number 6 player? So we always tell our kids the number 5 and 6 scores are important every competition.
Yeah, no question, because you don't know if it's going to be a playoff at the end when you're tied, especially in this league. Again, visiting with Ron Gray, the Dowling boys golf coach, and 49th year as a coach at Dowling. Now, that means wrestling. So you started back, well, you were still in college when you were coaching. You were a GA, weren't you? And you got to Dowling, and you stayed there forever, taught for, 43 years, retired from that, and now continuing to coach. So you're pushing 50 years as a coach at Dowling, Ron.
Yeah, I don't look that old, do I? Well, it's funny, because I finished my wrestling eligibility in Illinois in 1977, and I came back to Des Moines, and my eligibility was done, so I had to do something. So I might as well finish school, and so Dara saw me and says, "You better get to the wrestling room." I said, "Okay, you know Coach Dara, you do what he said." But it was funny. So in the fall of '77, and actually it was December of '77, I helped coach the Dowling wrestling team, and I did the '77-'78 year, and Perry Hummel was on that team, and Bobby Hallman was on that team, and John Campana was on that team. We had some really great people. I ended up winning the state. That's not a bad introduction to coaching, is it?
No, winning that trophy as a young coach behind the legendary, the late Bob Dara. That's pretty good on your resume.
Yeah, not too bad. It's just I'm in the picture, so I must have done something.
Well, Coach, I know your season, I guess you've been in 7 meets so far. You got 5 left, including the next meet coming up, where you got an 18-team meet this Tuesday, September 16th, at Cedar Rapids Country Club. And that'll be that's almost like the pre-state tournament or pre-district tournament, you would call it. So that's a measuring stick. And again, I'm trying to help you find your 5th, 6th, and maybe whoever, 3 or 4 guys trying to be in that 6th spot. But districts start on October 6th or October 7th. Correct. And the state meet is at Hyperion on October 13th and 14th. So some time before next month arrives, everybody's jockeying, trying to find what you're trying to do is find that 5th and 6th golfer or whatever. But you've got some meets coming up and a very competitive one on Tuesday. Oh, that's going to be this is going to be a shootout. We played there several years ago. In fact, I think we took a team there 20 years ago. And it's a lot different now because the duration wiped out about 2,500 trees off that course. But it's a beautiful and a tough course. It'll be quite a challenge for everybody out there. We just want to come out there with too few scars as we can. So
Cedar Rapids Country Clubs is a great venue. And then the next day we got to come back and go against Waukee and Ankeny at River Valley. And so there's not much turnaround time, but
No, there isn't. And well, we certainly appreciate you taking time. Hopefully they'll figure out which district you're in. You could either go to Copper Creek over in Pleasant Hill. You could go up to Fort Dodge, or you might be sent out east or sent up north to Cedar Falls area or Pleasant Valley. So I know you're awaiting those district sites to be announced, and so is the Dowling boys golf team.
Yeah, well, the sites are announced. It's just the teams assigned to them is the issue. So, we'll go wherever it is, and we're going to give it our best effort. They're a great bunch of kids, and I'm just very proud. And I got to say, our coaching staff has done a great job. Zach Steffen, who's helped out, he does a great job. He's still competing out there, and he does a great job with our kids. And then with our younger kids, Jeff Morris is still around, and he's getting assisted with Ann Watson, our girls golf coach, who helps me, and she must not have got enough of me in the spring. She wanted to come back, and maybe she's going to antagonize me in the fall. But no, she does a great job. I mean, all of them are just very blessed to have, and Dowling's very blessed to have them.
And Ron, when we've talked about sites, you've had different sites where you've played your home matches, but we lost a good one this week. Father Akery passing away, and then Ned Chido passing away. And the Chido family's been very good to Dowling as far as where you play your meets. But Ned was instrumental in starting youth golf way back in the 60s.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's been a busy, kind of tough week because, as I mentioned, we lost Sue Smith, who was a 43-year member at Dowling, and a colleague of mine. She just had her celebration of life on Tuesday, and then I was at Ned's funeral yesterday. There's a nice little turnout there. Ned was a great supporter of Dowling Catholic golf and junior golf altogether, and Dowling athletics altogether. You looked at his resume on that obituary; it was quite impressive. And so we were very sad to miss him. And then of course, I knew Father Akery from back at the old Dowling, so it's going to be sad miss. I'll be going to his funeral tomorrow, but in terms of Ned Chido and the Chido family, they're just been very good to Dowling Catholic, and I can't say enough about them.
Well, 49 years as a coach, and we should mention, we break this down, you've been the boys golf coach at Dowling for 36 years. This is your 36th. And this spring, Lord willing, you'll be the 13th year as the Dowling girls golf coach. So that's great, Ron. I just love your retirement, how you retired out of teaching, but you're still teaching.
It's kind of fun. It's it's the relationships that I've had with golf, with the Chidos and with Rocky Spozzato at Terrace Hills and everywhere. Quite honestly, I've been around so long that I know about everybody. Not quite like Dare. I always thought he went around the world once and talked to everybody twice. But it's been fun. I mean, someone say, "Why do you do it?" I said, "I just enjoy it." I hardly play any golf anymore. Of course, I do a little more fishing, but I love being around the environment. I love being. I see a lot of Dowling graduates. It's tremendous to be out and about. And I see a lot of Dowling priests, and they yell at me, "What are you doing? Why don't you shoot me in the classroom?" I said, he says, "Well, quit playing golf and get back to church. You guys are giving yourselves absolution on every hole there."
Well, some people need it more than others, Ron.
Absolutely, but yeah, it's been a fine ride, and hopefully we're going to keep this thing going.
Ron Gray, thanks for being part of halftime tonight. Best of luck to the Dowling boys golf team, especially as you progress towards districts, and always good to see you.
All right, thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Comments from head coach Ron Gray, the Dowling boys golf coach, and off to a great season as they get set for their district's site to be announced. The district sites are already out there. They just don't know where they're going, and Ron will figure all that. The Boys Association will here shortly, and it's great catching up with him. You never know what can happen when you get me and Mr. Gray having a beverage on a Thursday night, as we had to tape that last night, and it was great catching up with Ron.
Sure, it was a cold glass.
It was. It was very cold.
Yeah, and Ron is such a blessing, and to do it that many years, and to have the dedication that he's had to this institution, which is Dowling Catholic High School, for so long, is just it is amazing. And again, yes, and Ron was talking about the Chido family and everything else. Just really happy with how they've supported our programs over the years from top to bottom, and it's it takes a community, and both the Chido family and Ron represent what is good in our school.
Absolutely.
In our community.
We're going to take a 1-minute break, come back. We've got halftime stats and also more scores. We have scores to pass along from other games in Class 5A district football. We're out at Dallas Center Grimes. Our halftime score, Dowling 17 and Dallas Center Grimes nothing. We'll return after this 1-minute break. Mark Amadale, Matt Mainring, Brian Morris, and our studio producer, Vinny Cataldo, along the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
You guys just didn't want it bad enough. That should have been an easy win. What were you doing out there? You got to hustle. You could have made that play if you'd been open.
On the car ride home after the game, when you think you're helping by telling me what I did wrong and what I need to work on, all I hear is that I'm not good enough, that I'm supposed to be perfect, that it's not okay to lose. On the car ride home, all I need to hear is how much you love me and enjoy watching me play, that my worth isn't determined by my performance, that even on my worst day, I am worthy, that you see me learning, growing, and doing my best, and that is enough.
This message presented by the IHSAA and the Iowa High School Athletic Directors Association.
And we're back here at Dallas Center Grimes High School, and we appreciate all the support that they have given us tonight in hospitality. Madison Melchert, the athletic director, and of course Scott Heitland, the head coach in his 22nd year here. Appreciate all their support helping us out. And we're at halftime. Dowling leading 17-0 on this road game in District 2 Class 5A district opener. And Matt, we've got some scores to pass along in District 5A. Go right ahead.
You bet. Well, next week's opponent isn't a district game as you were talking about,
correct,
Mark, but it is Southeast Polk and Norwalk playing much like this Dowling DCG game. These two schools playing up, and Norwalk right now giving them a challenge, and it's 21, Southeast Polk 21. They scored right before the half, and it's 21-13 their lead over Norwalk. Ankeny is up big on Roosevelt, 36-0 at one point there. Valley is up on Urbandale in the first half, 20-0. Waukee Northwest, and you would call it's kind of a surprise that it's this close, is playing Iowa City High, and that game is on the road for Waukee Northwest, and it's 7-6 right now, and I believe that was a halftime score.
That was in Iowa City.
That was in Iowa City, and Waukee is playing at Cedar Rapids Kennedy. I believe that one's on the road as well, if I look at your cheat sheet here for me, but Waukee was up 10-7 in that game. So a lot of close football games tonight, and it's the way it is in 5A football.
No question about it. Here it's 17-0 Dowling. Our scoring went like this. As Sam Drexler caught a 27-yard pass from quarterback Joey Nahas. 4.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter for Dowling. And Ryan Kuhn's extra point made it 7-0 Dowling. The Maroons got off to the lead. And then back in the second quarter, Kuhn comes down and hits a 46-yard field goal. Dowling increases the lead to 10-0 with 3:22 remaining in the first half. And then how about the play? Jeffrey Roberts, with 14 seconds left in the first half, a 43-yard touchdown reception from quarterback Joey Nahas, his second touchdown pass tonight. And Roberts danced along the near sideline right from the DCG bench and carried in for 43 yards, giving Dowling a 17-0 lead. Both teams are on the field and are ready for the second half kickoff. Let's go down to our Jenny Farrell sideline report and hear from Brian Morris for the first time in the second half. Jenny Farrell team at Remax Concepts has been helping generations of Dowling Catholic families with their real estate investments for almost 30 years. Learn more at jenniferfarrell.remax.com. Brian, take it away.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, guys, to see how DCG comes out in the second half because, again, I think as that first half wore on, some of those two-way defenders for DCG were getting a little tired. And, again, Dowling, I thought, picked up the run game very nicely. And I think right before that, maybe second to last drive of the half, the offensive line was getting some heavy coaching by Casey Shelton on the sideline. He was not happy with maybe some of the play before that. But after that, they came out a little more inspired, and they came off the field, and he said, that's what we do. That's what we do. So I think it was a little motivation factor for them.
I'd like an explanation of what heavy coaching is.
Yeah.
You want to clarify that a little bit for our audience, Brian?
Well, if you think back to the 80s and 90s, but nowadays it's called heavy coaching.
Heavy coaching.
We just go to the 80s and 90s concerts, Brian. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's right.
All right, here's a kickoff by Kuhn. A little short kick. It picked up at the 20-yard line, returned about the 26-yard line for DCG, and that's where their offense will start 1st and 10. And it's been all Dowling in the first half, but it's been kind of ugly, and that's a credit to DCG. They haven't quit, but the Maroons have put themselves in, they had a block punt, they had an interception, and the Maroons also blocked a punt, and blocked a field goal and returned it, and then scored later on. So it's been an interesting first half. Let's see if that transitions here and what adjustments Matt made in the second half.
What DCG couldn't do, the Mustangs just had a heck of a time with Ryan Bobo. Ryan Bobo was in the backfield as much as Engel and Grimm were, and he has just been a wrecking ball.
All right, here are the Mustangs. Their quarterback, Chase Engel, left-hander, hands it off on first down to their tailback, Ozzie Grimm. Wide receivers for DCG, Hudson Heidgerken, Chase Heitland, Gabe Wright. Their tight end is Wyatt Valenta. Up front, Braden Hasty, Lucas Scholl, Brody Miller, Brevin Fuller, and Landon Monfort, the offensive line. 4 juniors and a senior on that offensive line, and it'll bring up 2nd and 12, a loss back to the 26-yard line on first down there, Matt.
And I believe that was Ryan Bobo.
That made the stop.
Yeah.
So he gets credit for a sack, doesn't he?
Well,
tackle for a loss.
Tackle for a loss.
All right, here is Engel over the middle, and he throws it incomplete. His tight end, Valenta, was the intended receiver, and he was well defended by Pagano and Coppola.
Yeah. It's a good game when, defensively, when you haven't had to talk about the secondary very much. And so these linebackers, Bonanno, Schumacher, Blount, and Pagano have done a heck of a job. But we haven't had a chance to call many, Max Coppola against Valley, I think, might have been one of the leading tacklers.
Yes,
and
he was.
The only time we've mentioned his name, that is on the blocked field goal.
That's right. Yeah, it was blocked, allegedly by Blount.
Yeah.
and Coppola picked it up. And now back to throw is Chase, being chased out of the backfield. He throws it into the Dowling bench, which is across the way on the east sideline. It's incomplete.
I don't think that got to the line of scrimmage again. They're going to say it did. And
well, it did, or there was a receiver over there.
Yeah, that could be. So, anyway, he was getting chased time.
It'll bring up 4th down, by the way.
Right.
For Dallas Center Grimes and the punting unit in.
And that was Brady Hagan that was chasing them down and out of bounds right there. All
right, Stolpe in to punt. Ben Rose, a long snapper for Dallas Center Grimes, waiting the snap. Good snap. And gets it away. It's a low spirally kick into the wind, picked up by Drexler. Sam at the 42, still on his feet at midfield, and he's going to be hit and dropped. The Yang tackled there. And Dowling will have it 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line to start the second half with their offense with 10:56 to go here in the third quarter. Dowling leading 17-0. Let's go down to our Jenny Farrell sideline report, and that is with Brian Morrison. Brian, take it away.
Yeah, the Dowling defense, again, put a lot of pressure on DCG offense there. I would anticipate the Dowling offense coming out, guys, and just running the ball. I just can't believe they won't do that. Establish the run, because I do think the offensive line was doing a better job in that second quarter.
Well, the tight end is on the left side for Dowling, and that being Leighton Oldfield. They put a man in motion, handoff up the middle, and that is what you said. Brian Middleton with it across the 45, finally brought down at the 43. He'll pick up 7 yards.
And right there, you looked at, as Brian was talking about, that offensive line just stood that whole defensive front up and drove them 5 yards. And Ian Middleton just keeps the wheels churning behind it. And nice big pickup on first down as that offensive line setting the tone.
2nd and 3, Dowling on their DCG 43-yard line. Handoff Middleton, trying to find a seam, and he can't. Might have lost the yard. He does, back to the 45, and loss of 2. Good defense that time. Good pressure up front by DCG. And was that when the run blitz came?
Yeah. They sold out right there. And they're lining, they got 4 down linemen. They walk up an outside linebacker for that 5th guy up front. And then that time they brought both linebackers as well. So you got 7 guys converging at the line of scrimmage, and it's just a numbers game then.
All right, 3 receivers to the right. And in the backfield with Joey Nahas is Ian Middleton. 3rd and 5, Dowling from the 45. They hand it off to Middleton, and he's across the 40. Got the first down. He's finally brought down at the 38-yard line of Dallas Center Grimes in a good, hard run. And I'll tell you what, the right side of the offensive line, they were right in. Evan Mitchell, Max Thomas, right guard and tackle respectively, along with Cade Krause. They opened up a little hole there.
They did, and it's what you call having the defense on skates, and they were just rolling backwards, and that defensive front was, and a nice run there by Ian Middleton.
So it'll be 1st and 10, Dowling. Handoff Middleton right between the tackle. Spins out of a tackle and falls forward down to the 33-yard line. I'm going to spot, his knee down at the 35.
I like the little game. I don't know if you saw that too, Brian, but the little game that Nahas and Sam Drexler had there in that 3rd down play, making it look like they were doing some kind of audible, and then they just handed it off inside.
Yeah, I really thought they were going to throw it to Drexler. You're exactly right.
All right, handoff again to Middleton. Ian with it, and he crunches his way, loses his helmet, so he'll have to sit out a play, and they're going to spot forward progress to the 32-yard line, gain of 3.
And, for Ian Middleton, it's the second time he's lost that helmet, and you don't want to do that in a big position here, but he found some yards the hard way, and he is such a load to bring down. That was 3-4 Dallas Center Grimes players there trying to drag him down.
Let's see who comes in, and Henry Schmidt has been spelling him, and Henry will go in, a 5'10", 175-pound sophomore. Grayson Pennington also has been at tailback this year, but tonight the backup is Smid. 3rd and 4 for the Maroons. Line of scrimmage is the 32-yard line of DCG. Dowling leading 17-0. 8:30 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Handoff Smid goes around the right side, tries to pop it outside, and he's shy of the first down by a yard.
Yeah, he's going to be close there, Mark, and he slid off to the side. At first, it didn't look like there was going to be anything there. And again, DCG, the Mustangs, had 7 guys in the box there, but they slid outside, and a nice push there. Here they go on 4th down.
3-yard run all the way to the 29-yard line of DCG. And let's see. They're going to keep Smith in there. Maroons are going to send 2 receivers left. 4th and 1 Dowling at the Dallas Center Grimes 29. Handoff to Smith. He's got the first down inside the 25 and falls forward to the 24-yard line. 5 yards over the left side of the Dowling offensive line, led by Carter Barrett.
Carter Barrett on that left side sealed everything down, and they had the action going like it was going to the right, and Quinn Schmalbach was pulled and blocking to the right. Schmid cuts back to the left. Nice read on his part. Big first down pick.
2 receivers left. The handoff goes again to Middleton. Right up the gut he goes, and he brings players with him, tackling inside the 20 down near the 15-yard line. He picks up 9 yards on that bolt.
Yeah, I couldn't tell, and Brian might be able to see that was Schmalbach on that trap. You don't get enough time to talk about the play because they're right back up the line of scrimmage.
Handoff again for Dowling, as line of scrimmage was the 15-yard line, and bowling his way forward for a couple yards is
that was Ian
Middleton who's back in.
Yep. And so they pick up the first down, move the chains, and Dowling is in up-tempo right now, and this is where Coach Wilson is at in his, this is where he likes to be. Up-tempo, get the play in, have that defense not have time to rest, and the conditioning that they put those players through now at Dowling starts to pay off.
All right, this is the 10th play of the Dowling drive. Started at the 50-yard line. They give it to Middleton over the right side. He's inside the 10. He dives forward near the 7 for a pickup of 6 yards.
They're going to say the ball was fumbled. I don't know. Are they going to say he was down? Let's see here.
Officials haven't ruled anything here.
Mustangs got the ball, and
well, let's see what happened. Brian, you're right. You got
it felt like to me that the ball, the ground caused that fumble. And Ian Middleton is he's kind of like amazed by it, but I guess film will tell later this week, but I thought he was down by contact.
So
yeah, he's over there talking to Coach Meeks, and and that's they work on that. And I haven't seen Ian put the ball on the ground in a couple years, and so
they put it down at the 8-yard line. So he gained 5, but he fumbled the football, and that's where DCG will take over 1st and 10 from their own 8-yard line with 6:37 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Dowling leading 17-0, Matt.
it's really hard to see in that scrum what's going on, and when his knee goes down and everything else. We don't have CISN here to give us a replay on that.
No, we don't. All right, first down as Chase Engel, the left-handed quarterback for DCG, number 15, back to throw out of his own end zone, fires it near side, and the pass is caught. Nice catch that time by the Mustangs, and that was Samson Joensen with the reception.
That was a great catch, and or Chase Heitland. That might have been Heitland, number 3.
And it was number 3, excuse me. It was Heitland with the catch, but boy, it was one-on-one coverage there.
Jordan Watson was all over that play, and that was a great catch because Jordan was right on it and ready to knock it out.
So Dallas Center Grimes moves the ball up to the 12-yard line, a gain of 4. Now they go back to the ground, and they give it to Grimm. And he gets up to the 15-yard line.
Carlos Blunt scraped over the top on that play from his linebacker position and was able to get to Grimm and take him down before he got much motion going forward. So a great play by Carlos Blunt.
A big third down play for Dallas Center Grimes. 3rd and 4 from their own 15-yard line, trailing 17-0 to Dowling as we're under 6 minutes to play here in the third quarter from Dallas Center Grimes High School. Back to throw is Engel. Looks left, throws left, pass is caught, and the ball, he's got the first down as the ball came down. The receiver, Valenta, came down with the ball, and they call it a catch at the 28.
He makes a great catch there and a great throw by Engel. Maddox Capola was right on it and almost ripped it out, but Valenta hung on. And there they kept extra blockers in, so they almost kept, essentially 6-7 guys in.
They didn't have many receivers.
No.
Well, here is Engel on play action, fires the ball. It passes tipped and incomplete as he threw it into a crowd as Joe L. Sanko was right in the area. And it deflected off someone, but harmlessly fell to the ground, incomplete for DCG.
That was one of those where the defense is going, that looks like a pick 6 right there because that ball flipped up in the air into the defense, and Joel Sanko was right on top of that as it was a little flare pass out to Grimm out of the backfield.
All right, to bring up 2nd and 10, DCG at their own 27-yard line. They'll send 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. As they go left to right into the wind, hand off Grimm, and he's hit and wrestled back. And for no gain. And who got the initial hit there?
Yeah. Let's say Ryan Bobo.
It was Ryan Bobo.
Oh, man.
Was it?
Yeah, he was. They can't block him, and he was back there. He doesn't end up making the tackle, but he held him up, and the rest of the people rallied there, and Grimm kept his feet moving, and I believe Blount ends up making that and finishes it off.
Loss of 2. It'll bring up 3rd and 12. Dallas Center Grimes back at their own 25-yard line. And now a little swing pass to the near side, caught by Gabe Wright, their fastest player, and he's hit and drop right as he caught it. And he'll lose yardage back to the 23, and it'll bring up 4th and 14.
Yeah, good play out there on the edge, and that was Roberson and Blount were able to make that play. And it's a little quick hitter. They're trying to do that, what you call that little screen play back into the middle, tunnel screen, and nothing there.
Loss of 1. That'll bring up 4th down, so the punter, Stolpe, is in. He'll stand back at his own 10-yard line. He'll be punting into the wind for the final 4 minutes of the third quarter as Sam Drexler, standing at his own 40, kicks away. High kick into the wind. Drexler has it, and he's dropped right at the 42-yard line. That's where Dowling will have it. 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line with 3 minutes, 49 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Dowling 17 and Dallas Center Grimes nothing. Let's go down to our Jenny Farrell sideline report with Brian Morris.
Yeah, guys, last week Dowling really threw the ball to Sam Drexler a lot. Tonight they really haven't focused on him, or the Dallas Center Grimes team maybe watched film from last week and is maybe putting 2 coverage on him. But I'd look for Sam maybe to get something on this drive.
Hey, it's a good call, Brian. We've only seen a couple jet sweeps and trying to get the hands into the speed. But I think, after that last play, after that last series again, they might try to run it right at him and grind it out.
All right, we'll see what happens here with Nahas at quarterback out of the shotgun. Dowling from their own 43, handoff Middleton with 3 receivers to the right, and he gets right back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Good job and good penetration by the DCG defensive line, led by Carter Stewart, number 72.
Yeah, and you're right. And Connor Stolpe gets up at the bottom, and how many times can you call that young man's name in a football game? And he just seems to be in every play. And he's having another great night at that linebacker position.
All right, Nahas now works out of the pistol formation. Dowling will bring in a quasi-tight end or a fullback. Hand off Middleton. Goes left side, and he's in midfield. He's got the first down, brought down at the 46-yard line of DCG. And that hole was a slow-developing play, but when it opened, Ian hit it quick.
Yeah. Knowing Ian Middleton like I do, I am sure he went over to the sideline and said, "Give me that football back. There is no way that ball's going to touch the ground again." And he says, "I want it and run through people."
All right, 1st and 10, Dowling. 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter from the DCG 46. And back to throw is Nahas. And looking, now lobs the ball downfield. Oh, yeah, Drexler wide open, incomplete. Just threw it a little too far and led him that time as the defender, Jace Kiley, he had to throw it over him, but it went incomplete.
Yeah, and Nahas did a really good job of keeping himself alive in the pocket. The pocket was kind of crumbling around him, makes a heady move to the outside there, gives himself some space, and just flicked it as Sam read it right and released just over his hands.
2nd and 10, Dowling. And now hand off Middleton. And right up the gut he goes. And, he was one tackle away from breaking it. Brought down at the 40 for a gain of 6.
And there's no safety that wants to sit there and tackle that. And Ian's coming through there with the whole head of steam. It takes a bunch of them. And we got a cramp.
We'll keep it here with 2:34 to go here in the third quarter. Dowling 17 and Dallas Center Grimes nothing. And young man for Dallas Center Grimes cramping up, so they'll attend to him. We want to thank Construction Professionals, along with Ashworth Vision and Bows in the Floors, our supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio. Thanks to them. Alongside Matt Mandring, I'm Mark Amadale. Glad you could join us for Week 3 of the Iowa High School football season. Next week, the Maroons are home for the next 5 games at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. They have a road game in between at Cedar Rapids Kennedy, but the Maroons will be home then. But tonight it's been Dowling kind of controlling the game, but there's been some turnovers. We've had block punts, and we've had a busy sideline over there. Brian Morris gives an update on the Dowling sideline with our Jenny Farrell team sideline report.
Yeah, guys, number 46, who we've been calling all night for Dallas Center Grimes, Connor Stolke. He's the one who's down, and they're working on it. It's a cramp. Again, it's been a little more humid tonight on the sidelines, and you knew somebody going both ways, he's definitely going to have some issues. But they're still tending to him. And, again, when you get those cramps, it's a tough one, especially in the calf.
Yeah, and you have those two-way players. And, Matt, when you coach football, you're in an area where your punter is also your punt returner sometimes, and he's also a defender and off. So you lose one guy, but he plays 4 positions.
Yeah, and he's such a valuable player for him. And, just like in that Valley game, we saw a lot of this too. It isn't so much in the first half because you warm up properly, you get loose, you go out and you play. But when you go to halftime and you're sitting there for a little bit and the body catches up, and then when you come back out here, everything starts to cramp up as you lose those fluids.
Well, Coach Heitland was out there with Stolpe, as Brian mentioned. Connor Stolpe, the 6'1", 220-pound senior, wearing number 46, walks off under his own power. So for Dowling now, it's 3rd and 4. Now penalty flags down as we begin. And let's see what this is on. Normally it's on the offense. Somebody jumped or moved.
Now you saw a shift there from Dallas Center Grimes, and it's going out there. You can see Evan Mitchell going out there, and he's only a sophomore, but he's kind of the kid's a leader. The young man's a leader. He went out there and talked to the officials, said something went on right there, and you saw the Mustangs shift, and it caused a flinch there from the offensive side.
That's all it takes. So 5-yard penalty against Dowling. 3rd and 9 for the Maroons from the DCG 45. Handoff Ian Middleton, backs his way in across the 35. He's got the first down. Whoa!
Yeah, that looked like a Derrick Henry run. Now, Brian and you might get this. I think of Earl Campbell.
I get that one.
Yeah, and he just ran over people right there.
14-yard run for Middleton, first down Dowling, and they are going up tempo. Pistol formation, they fake to Middleton, and the quick pass to Roberts, and Jeffrey with the catch on a quick slant from the right side inside the 25 to the 23.
Yeah, and or Travis Henry. Did I say that right the last time? And anyway,
Derrick Henry.
And anyway, the nice pitch and catch there. Jeffrey Roberts goes up and makes that catch with his hands, and that was a good football play.
Yeah, and that was a gain of 8. And Dowling now with the ball, and pass is incomplete as they move the ball down. So to bring up third and 2, excuse me. Minute 30 to go, third quarter. Dowling 17-0 over Dallas Center Grimes. Dowling getting close to the Iowa Wealth Management red zone as they've got a third down from the 23-yard line. Hand off to Middleton, and Ian gets his way down to the 20. And it depends on the spot. I think he got the first down. He did. So the Maroons are now in the red zone, the Iowa Wealth Management red zone, a fee-only investment advisory firm helping clients grow and protect their wealth. Learn more at iowawealth.com.
You can see right now that defensive front from Dallas Center Grimes is getting wore down. That offense is just owning the line of scrimmage right now, and Ian Middleton just wants the football.
3-yard run gives the Maroons a first down at the 20. Middleton with the handoff, looking for that little seam, and he decides to bounce it outside the right tackle, and he's down near the 16-yard line, a gain of 4.
Yeah, another nice run there, and he's just hesitating behind the line there and waiting for Max Thomas, Evan Mitchell, Cade Krause on that right side, to sustain those blocks, and then you got Carter Barrett and Josh Mill on the other side just dominating the trenches right now.
All right, 2nd and 6, Dowling from the Dallas Center Grimes 16, handoff Middleton. He follows his blockers inside the 10, and he falls forward down to the 7-yard line, a pickup of 9 yards.
They're able to create that crease, and it's a thing of beauty when Dowling does this, and they create that crease in that A gap, and Middleton's running downhill right through it, and I just think right now it is nothing but hand the ball to number 5.
First and goal, Dowling at the Dallas Center Grimes 7-yard line. Maroons leading 17-0, 34 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Now we have a stoppage of play. Let's bring in Brian Morris. What's going on in the field?
I don't know. The number 48's looking for something. I don't know if it's his mouthpiece or but I mean, I know guys don't play with mouthpieces anymore, but
Max Murray.
No, you have to. Have to.
It's the one of the rules, Brian.
Yeah. No, well, they don't call a lot because a lot of guys have it hanging out anymore.
No, that's not at this level. You got to have it in.
Yeah, you're watching too much college and NFL.
I did watch the Iowa State game last week.
First and goal, Dowling, handoff Middleton, and sidesteps a tackle, and he falls forward down to the 5-yard line.
They're going to back. Yeah, I was going to say.
So
up a little bit too
this will be the 11th play of the drive here, Matt, as Middleton gains 2. Second and goal from the 5.
How many of those have been Ian Middleton?
Every one.
Every one. Okay. Ian they're just grinding it out right now. 3 seconds, and there we go to the half.
And we're going to end of the third quarter has come to an end with the score. Dowling 17 and Dallas Center Grimes nothing. We'll take a 1-minute break, come back for the fourth quarter where Dowling will have a second and goal from the 6-yard line, they call it, here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Bozen the Florist. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, weddings, whatever the message, say more with Bozen. Bozen.com, 515-244-ROSE. Bozen makes the moment mean more.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by CTO. Your support has helped thousands of students attend our Catholic schools. CTOIowa.org. At CTO, the bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Health powers life. From the delightfully routine to the truly uncharted, at Mercy One, their caring doctors focus on just that, so you're ready for what life brings next. Find care at mercyone.org/healthpowerslife.
Fast Signs is a custom sign and visual solutions company with an extensive selection of digital signage, interior and exterior signs, banners, and vehicle wraps. Learn more at fastsigns.com. Thank you, Fast Signs in Clive, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
All right, we're back here at Dallas Center Grimes High School. Thanks to Madison Melchert, the athletic director, and all her support staff, making us feel like at home. And Dowling leading 17-0. We start the fourth quarter. Nahas handoff to Middleton, goes left, tries to turn upfield, and brought down at the line of scrimmage for maybe a yard as he fell forward from the 6 down to the DCG 5-yard line to bring up third and goal from the 5.
Carter Stewart for the Mustangs ran that down from the backside, and he took an Ian Middleton stiff arm, but Ian couldn't separate enough and rolled him down at the 5-yard line.
Now we got a stoppage to play here, and officials talking over. I didn't see a penalty flag. Brian, do you have anything from your sideline?
Yeah, the refs were. There was two. I think Dowling. I'm looking the Sam Drexler. I think and one of the DCG guys were kind of getting into it, so we're going to see how they call it.
What they call offsetting.
There is a flag right there in the middle of the field. Looks like.
Could be offsetting penalties if two guys are getting into it, but officials still trying to figure it out.
Let's play football.
Yeah, there's
gotta get that.
Well, at least we don't have to go back
call.
to the replay.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, number 9. Penalty is half the distance to the goal.
So Jace Kiley, who's the starting linebacker and also the holder on extra points and field goals, whistled for the personal foul, and that'll be half the distance to the goal. And that'll give Dowling the ball at the 3-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 3, Matt, once it's all sorted out.
Yeah, it's not an automatic first down.
No.
So it's still 3rd and goal.
So Dowling goes to the line of scrimmage, double tight end set, 2 receivers to the left. Maroons now going towards the south end zone. Handoff Middleton between the tackles, bowls his way towards the end zone, and he's down at the 1. So he gains 2.
Boy. And this is a tough one as a coach. You're going, okay, I think we can get a yard. You know, and what your play call here, you just get right back up to it and give it to your guy that got you there.
2 receivers left, double tight end set, pistol formation, and here's a handoff. Middleton up the middle, and he dives for the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown, Ian Middleton from 1 yard out.
Coach Heitland is upset because there was movement around the start of at the snap, and it was a weird, Brian, wasn't it? It was really weird how that came off.
It did look like that. Brian, what about your sideline?
Yeah, it felt like to me maybe one of our offensive linemen jumped, to be honest.
Well, I think it was together. I think 1 or 2 moved as the ball was a snap behind or a second behind. But nonetheless, Dowling scores Middleton as we start the 4th quarter. That's our only score thus far of the 4th quarter, 11-13 remaining. Kuhn in for the extra point. And the hold by Owen McConville.
He just went offsides. There's going to be offsides on the Mustangs.
We'll get the call here from the official. So that'll be half the distance to the goal. So that caps off a Dowling drive of 12 plays, 57 yards, which took 4 minutes of game clock. Now we'll tap the extra point if they mark off the half the distance to the goal and the extra point. Dowling now leading 23-0. And Kuhn's extra point goes through, and it's 24-0 Dowling with 11:13 to go. 4th quarter, back in 1 minute along the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Thought of the Day with Monsignor Frank Bagnano.
People have often called God by different titles, such as one's higher power or the first cause of the universe, and these are true and good, but the most accurate description of God's relationship with us is our Father. Yes, Father, or St. Paul calls him Abba or Papa, the intimate speech of a small child to their one's dad. And that's why thy will be done does make sense. God's will is for our good, the happiness of you and me. God's will is expressed in his loving actions and words and inspirations throughout the day. God's will also is for us to be like God is, that is, to be loving. So when we pray the Our Father, thy will be done on earth, thy love in heaven be done in me, through me, to other people. And that is today's Thought of the Day.
Dallas Center Grimes High School. Here is the return picked up by Ozzie Grimm, the starting tailback on the return for Dallas Center Grimes, and he returns it across the 25 up near the 26-yard line. That is where DCG will start their next possession. Dowling leading 24-0 off capping off on a 12-play, 57-yard drive. Ian Middleton with his first touchdown of the night from 1 yard out. And let's go down to the Dowling sideline. That is where Brian Morris is with our Jenny Farrell Remax sideline report.
I love our kickoff strategy, guys. We have so many ways we kick off.
And one of them is we can't put the ball in the end zone. We don't have anybody with the leg to do that, so you got to kind of pooch kick it. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, they pooch it sometimes.
Yep.
Sometimes they knuckleball it on the ground. But it's different seems like every kickoff, which, again, most times in high school, if you can get one kickoff correct. But, man, these guys do a nice job.
They do. And
Coach Van Veen.
Yeah, and you're right, Mark. If you can't get it to the end zone, my theory was always too, well, then just squib it down there, give it something so they can't return it for a touchdown.
All right, here is flanker reverse, and they toss it out to Chase Heitland trying to get outside, and he can't do it. He turns the corner and he loses yardage back to the 25-yard line, so it'll bring up 2nd and 11. Heitland was injured most of the week. He was kind of nursing injury. Now he's going to come off here. He missed some practice time this week, according to their live stream guy. So bring up 2nd and 11.
I got to mention Jimmy Howard made a nice play on that kickoff. He got down there and made a nice tackle.
Special teams.
Yeah, so I'd give him a little shout there.
3rd and 11. Back to throw is Chase Ingle. Fires it out. Pass is caught. Spinning out of a tackle, but falling forward up to the 28-yard line. And now
penalties in the backfield.
Penalty flag down, and they're going to stop the clock here.
It's holding guys on DCG. I think Dowling will decline this.
They do to bring up 3rd and probably about
4th.
Or 4th down and 8.
Anthony Bonanno, he's had a nice night tonight as well, playing that left edge, and he made a nice play on that little flare pass before that. It was him and Roberson that were in there to make that tackle, but Anthony's had a good night out there.
4th and 7 now for Dallas Center Grimes. Dowling 24, Dallas Center Grimes nothing. 10:18 to go. Here in the 4th quarter, first meeting, as we mentioned, between the two teams in varsity football. And now let's see, is that Stolpe back in to punt because he was injured or he had the cramp, and he gets it away. Yes, he does. Nice job. High kick, goes out of bounds at midfield, and now we have the angle set up here where they're going to mark it out of bounds.
Yeah. There's some geometry in that right there. Seifert's all over it. I'm sure he could tell you where it's at.
That's something Brian and I didn't relish, was geometry, right, Brian?
Geometry was not. I love math. Geometry is really not math, in my opinion.
Well, now you tell the kids they had to take it.
No, I told my kids, don't worry about geometry. It's not math.
I'm with you a little. I loved algebra. I could do, I like that stuff. And I can't think in space like that.
First down, Dowling from the 40-yard line. That was an 11-yard punt with no return by DCG. Nahas at quarterback. And Nahas looks left, throws it left, and it's caught by his twin brother, I believe. And he scampers down the near side, or down the far sideline to the 38-yard line, pick up a 2.
And the win really came out of the sails of this DCG. They had played so well in that first half, and they had to score at 10-0, and then that play right before half, going down and getting that score, really took the wind out of the sails.
Well, Jeffrey Roberts will take the wind out of a lot of people's sails with his speed, and now the Maroons with a handoff. Smith in there. He carries down near a first down at the 20 or 31-yard line. Let's see where they spot it.
And the number of plays in this second half for Dowling versus how many offensive plays the Mustangs have run is really lopsided. They're just controlling the football right now.
We're up 3rd and 1, and Smith gets a handoff. Right up the gut he goes, follows the center and right guard, and has got the first down. They'll stop the clock at the 29-yard line is where they spot the ball. 1st and 10, Dowling. 9.5 minutes to go, 4th quarter. The Maroons in control, 24-0 over Dallas Center Grimes on turns out to be not a bad night. We went out at halftime on the veranda here and had the breeze, and it was nice to be out. We could have set up a table out there tonight.
Yeah, it would have been. It might be a little more comfortable, but it's not bad.
No, it isn't. Handoff goes to Smith again on 1st and 10 and turns the corner, and it's dropped. He'll lose a yard, maybe 2, back to the 31.
Michelle McConville, in our cafeteria, she's always worried if we sit outside. She make
Why
sure you bring your rain gear. You don't know what the weather's going to do. She wants to make sure I have that roster on time. Michelle, one of our loyalist listeners out there, and she is amazing.
So she's the one that checks the boxes before the game for you.
Correct.
Okay, got it
right.
all. We all know that. Good job, Michelle. And here is Schmidt with the handoff, and he dances through inside the 25. They'll spot him down at the 24 as he stays between the tackles.
Big hit there from Wyatt Valenta, the tight end linebacker. He comes up and makes a nice hit on Smith, but Smith had already got a number of yards there, and Sets up a third and, about 4, long 4.
Yep, third and they're going to call it 5. He picked up 7 there. 3rd and 5, Dowling from the 24. Now Nahas wants to pass, and he just led his receiver, Jeffrey Roberts, just a little too much. Pass goes incomplete. A little quick slant from the left side, and that'll bring up 4th down.
That was a rifle shot out of Nahas's hands. That was the fastball. That was from third base right there, wasn't it?
That was from third base.
Yeah. That was a rifle shot out there, and Jeffrey didn't come out of that break quite as quick as Nahas had expected, and the ball zinged by him.
All right, we're going to have a 41-yard field goal, not quite near the left hash, into the wind for Ryan Kuhn. Holder is Owen McConville, the long snapper Jack McLaughlin. Ball down, kick high enough, it's long enough, and it is good. How about that? Ryan Kuhn on a 41-yard field goal gives Dowling a 27-0 lead. With 8:07 to go here in the 4th quarter from Dallas Center Grimes High School. We'll return after this 1-minute break. Dowling Catholic 7-27 and DCG nothing. Back in a minute on Iowa Catholic Radio.
60 Seconds with Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen.
The Eucharist is the greatest of all the sacraments because it contains in a substantial way the person of Christ, who is the author of life. It is the one sacrament to which all of the other sacraments look. Imagine 6 arrows in a circle, all pointing to a center. The center is the Eucharist. The 6 arrows are the other sacraments. The Eucharist is the sun, around which the other sacraments revolve as planets. All the other sacraments share in its power, and they perfect themselves in the celebration of the Eucharist. It is a sacrament that is so sublime that human reason could never guess at it. Divine love is far deeper than we know.
The people you know and trust are on EWTN.
All right, we're back here at Dallas Center Grimes High School. Here's a kickoff by Dowling and return by DCG. That's Ethan Carlson, the backup tailback, on the return, and gets it up to the 35-yard line. That is where DCG will start. 1st and 10. With 8 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter, let's go down to our Jenny Farrell sideline report, and that is Brian Morris. Brian?
Yeah, the Dowling, again, offense, we said coming out in the second half, they were probably going to just pound the rock in, which they have done successfully. I think we're going to start seeing a few different players in here, maybe on defense. I saw a couple new numbers in there.
Yeah, we'll try to catch up on that. That's a good point, Brian, as the Maroons are starting to gradually go to their bench. Everybody helping each other out. Handoff goes to the tailback Grimm and gets across the line of scrimmage to 35 and gets a couple yards to the 37-yard line here, Matt.
Yeah, that was Jack McLaughlin and Bonanno on the tackle there as they flew across that defensive line. And you still have Bobo in there and Mike, and then you have McLaughlin and Bonanno at that front.
All right, 2nd and 7 for DCG from their own 37-yard line. Back to throw is Engel. Now be Chase out of the pocket, rolls to his left, dumps it off incomplete. And I'll bring up 3rd and 7 for the Maroons. And he was escorted to that sideline over there by Anthony Bonanno and Ryan Bobo.
Yeah, Bobo just took the running back and threw him out of his way as he's chasing Engel to the sideline. One score update: Southeast Polk is now up on Norwalk 35-13 in the second half in the 3rd quarter, and Waukee is up on Kennedy 17-7. Just a couple scores there.
Tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio brought to you in part by Fast Signs, Skeffington's Formal Wear, and Catholic Tuition Organization. Little screen pass, and that is caught, and that's Ethan Carlson who returned the kickoff. The backup tailback with the catch, but he'll be shy of the first down. He gets up to the 40-yard line for a gain of 3 on that screen.
I want to give Miles Elcock a little shout out there. He did a great job on that screen, hustling for that big kid. He's 6 foot 250-pound senior, and he was hustling down the line because he read that little screen and was able to be there as they escorted him out of bounds.
4th and 5 now for Dallas Center Grimes from their own 40-yard line. 7:05 to go, 4th quarter. And Dowling showing punt block, and they get it away. And Here's Sam Drexler at his own 25. Returned his left. He's got some room. He's at the 35. Now cuts back into a crowd and is dropped to the 36-yard line. So Sammy always makes it interesting sometimes.
Yeah.
It'll be Dowling football.
I go back to the first time I watched that young man return a punt. I believe we were at Cedar Rapids Kennedy getting ready for a game, and he was in a JV game. And we were watching the JV game before the varsity game, and he took a kickoff and returned it for a touchdown. And yeah, he's got some skills in the open field.
Well, I think Brian Morris over there has probably coached him off to the side when he's not on defense
probably.
is out. Is that what happened, Brian? You gave him a few tips?
No, I can't say I have done that. With, I can't tell a lie.
I remember when you used to carry your clipboard all the time. Oh, that's right, when you were coaching basketball.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
I remember that, yeah. All right, here's a handoff to Smid. Dowling starts from their own 37, and he gets up maybe to 39 for a gain of 2.
Yeah, we've got a lot of new people out there right now. Ethan LaCava is back there at quarterback, and, I believe we have Jack Trump in there on that offensive line. I see Owen Marr in there, and let me see a couple
Marr's
of
71, Trump's 79, yep.
Yeah. Kate Krause is still in there snapping the ball. Make sure you get it clean to Ethan LaCava, and Smid is at the running back position, going to get the carries.
Henry Smid at number 24, and you mentioned LaCava. Ethan is a 6'4", 200-pound junior. He came in the game for 1 or 2 plays when Nahas lost his helmet. Now we got a penalty of 15 yards against Dowling. What's that all about? Brian, what happened down there?
Ethan Mitchell, I think, did something out of the blind side and blocked his person over to the sidelines. If you remember that scene from the blind side, yeah.
So you call it the blind side? Oh, I like that.
He did that, and he brought the he blocked the kid over about 20 yards onto the sideline.
Well, that just cost Dowling 15, so it's 2nd down and 22 for the Maroons, back at their own 25. LaCava hands it off to Smid and gets across the 25 to the 26, a yard.
And they're trying to get the play right in there, and you see the coaches, with the second crew in there, and getting the play right and getting the calls right, and they get this new numbering system, and make sure everything works. Yeah,
the wristband.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they steal your signs, you got to come up with something, and Coach decided to do that this year. Done this in about 12 years, if I remember right. So it's all working. It's 3rd and 20 now for Dowling. 6 minutes to play. LaCava hands it off. That's Smid. He busts out across the 40, and he's got the first down. I'm going to say he stepped out at the 39. Or check that. He's out of bounds to the 39. He's got to get to the 47. Wrong down marker.
They had a long ways to go. He got by the original down marker. Didn't get to the second one.
Bring up 4th and 8 for the Maroons. He said he stepped out right at the 39, but he needed to get to the 47. So, all right, punting unit in for Dowling. Smid, nice carry that time of 13 yards, but that 15-yard penalty put the Maroons deep, and now Dowling will punt the football.
This is always a little bit of the scramble. You have the second unit in. Now the first unit's got to come back out to punt, and guys are finding their helmets. And
Jackson Smith, low snap. Jackson picks it up. He can get it away, and he does. That's a
but not well.
Short kick as he muffed it. And it's going to be out of bounds at the 45-yard line. So a 6-yard punt with no return. And DCG will have the football in Dowling territory.
It was almost one of them rugby-style punts, and he did a good job of getting the ball picked back up off the ground and tries to escape and realized, I don't think I can get the first down running, so I better try to punt it.
The last guy I saw the rugby-style punt, Brian Morris, that was Matthew Hawk, who is trying to get on with another team in the NFL.
Yeah, he had a pretty good punting career, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He continued
yes, he did.
Got paid a lot of money to do it
yes,
in the NFL. And the handoff goes to Grimm, and he just scampers around. He goes zigzags, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. Bring up 2nd and 10. DCG at the Dowling 45, under 5 minutes to play. Dowling leading 27-0. Our thanks to our supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio, including the Catholic Tuition Organization, Skeffton's Formal Wear, and Fast Signs in Clive. Matt?
You bet. We got Liam Tohey in here at defensive tackle as one of the fresh jerseys in there. And just trying to scan through. A lot of starters out there yet, making sure that they don't get a score here. You always like to preserve that shutout when you can.
Yes, you do. And it's 2nd and 10. And the give is to the tailback, Grimm, and he's hit and dropped. He's actually brought back. And another great job by the Dowling defensive line. They've been doing that all night. Of course, we'll have post-game interviews with head coach Tom Wilson of Dowling Catholic. We've got, I think, our defensive guy lined up. We're trying to figure out an offensive guy, and we'll have to visit with Brian when we get a minute here to do that. And the line of scrimmage back to the 46, loss of 1.
That was Jackson Miller in there, and then again Anthony Bonanno. We've called his name a few times tonight. He's had a good night out there and makes another nice stop.
So to bring up 3rd down and 11 for Dallas Center Grimes. Up next, Dowling will be home next Friday night against the four-time defending champion Southeast Polk Rams. Back to throw is Engel, fires it out of the backfield, caught by Grimm, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
Great tackle out there in coverage. And
check that. He loses yard. They're going to start his knee down as he tried to swing pass. Back to the 50, a loss of 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
Joel Sanko out there and making a stop, and there was nowhere to go right there. Great play out in space.
So Grimm loses 5 on the reception. That'll bring up 4th and 15 from midfield. And Engel at quarterback. They're going for it. Fires the ball downfield. The pass is intercepted right in front of the Dowling bench.
Is that number 12, Everardo Echeto?
I'm not sure. Brian, got a number? Is that Echeto?
I couldn't see, guys. I'm gonna.
Maybe that was
it's 20. It looks like it's 21.
21. It was Roberson. Yeah, it was Jeremiah Roberson dives and makes a nice interception there up the sideline, and great play by him.
Jeremiah Robertson. Robertson is transferred from Ankeny Centennial, and he gets the pick. So
the offense comes back out, and we see some fresh jerseys. I see Jace Hilton out here that's not Jace.
Dowling with the first down at their own 37 with 2:51 to go, man.
Anaya Check out here. Is that one split end?
Got to throw the 2 deeps away and go to the roster.
Yep.
Lakava at quarterback. Ethan hands it off, tailback, and that is Smid in there. And he's got the first down across the 45 up near the 47-yard line, gains 10.
Good execution by that offensive line right there. And you still got Evan Mitchell and a couple other guys in there. You like to see, your quarterback, Cade Krause, is still in there. When you get that second quarterback in there, it's nice to have that offensive front conditioning. I think that's what Coach Wilson's thinking a little bit.
Smolback and Oldfield, the tight ends, are in there. And Lakava at quarterback. Ethan sets the offense. Here's a snap out of the shotgun. Penalty flag down. Timeout DCG. That'll be their first time out of the second half. We'll take it with them. 2:19 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's Dowling 27, Dallas Center Grimes nothing, and we'll return to Dallas Center Grimes High School in 1 minute along the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Powered by you. This is listener-supported Iowa Catholic Radio, 105.5 KIHS, Perry, Des Moines, 89.3 KDVM, Mason City, and 89.9 KCSL, Spencer Spirit Lake.
The radio home for your Dowling Catholic Maroons. 105.5 KIHS, Perry, Des Moines. IowaCatholicRadio.com and the Iowa Catholic Radio mobile app. Encounter Jesus.
Building a relationship with a primary care doctor is one of the easiest ways to stay healthy. Schedule your annual checkup with a Mercy One doctor so you're ready for what life brings next. Find care at mercyone.org/healthpowerslife.
When you hear this,
caught by Scowl inside the 30,
you know it's the Maroons. Every game, every play, your home for Dowling Catholic football. 105.5 KIHS.
All right, we're back here at Dallas Center Grimes High School. Dowling with a 2nd and 9. Just under 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Dowling 27, Dallas Center Grimes nothing. Initial game between the two teams in high school football. First time they've ever played. And now Lakava at quarterback. And he fires it out near side. The pass is caught And across midfield into Dallas Center Grimes territory is the Maroon receiver, Owen McConville.
Owen McConville, the holder out there with that catch.
That's his cousin. Yeah, it is the holder, yeah.
Yeah, and
Owen is.
We got Owen Marr in there in the offensive line right now. Sebastian Hilligus is out there. I see Finn Day out there as another offensive lineman as they start to shuffle the deck here a little bit.
Brings up 3rd and 6. Go ahead, Matt.
Drew Cooling is in there at that slot position or at that tight end position, flanker.
All right, LaCava with one back in the backfield. 3rd down and 6 Dowling at the Dallas Center Grimes 48, and he gives it to the tailback, and let's see which one it is. It is Smid, and he's near a first down. I think he's going to be about a yard shy.
A little bit short. And again, you got Jack Trump out there in the offensive line right now, and Leighton Oldfield at the tight end position. And right now you aren't using, well, I thought they weren't using numbers, maybe just run into play. But
they got 4th down and 1 for Dowling. 35 seconds remaining. This could be the final play of the game. No, you don't have to snap the ball. Game, yes, they do. They got 10 on the play clock. 25 seconds remaining. LaCava with 2 receivers to the left. Dowling going left to right, north to south. Handoff goes to Schmidt, and that should do it.
Well, that's going to stop the clock on the change possession. So the Mustangs will get one more stamp.
So Dowling will turn the ball over on downs. And DCG will come out. And Brian Morris, we're going to go down to you with our Jenny Farrell sideline report. And we have one defensive interview. I don't know if you got to go through the handlers. Yeah. You know the routine.
Yeah, no, I've got my handlers down here working with to figure out which offensive lineman one of the seniors will talk to. But we'll get one of the offensive linemen seniors.
Well, you have a crowd around you because
that's all right.
They like to swarm around that microphone. Coach Pollock does that in his day job, as he does a live stream up in Ankeny by trade, and he's got those guys trained. And handoff goes as DCG takes over from their own 43-yard line. And the handoff goes to Josh Glay, their 3rd-string running back, senior. And he gets it up to the 48-yard line, and that'll do it. Dowling will win it 27-0 in the inaugural meeting between the two high schools. Dallas Center Grimes, first year in Class 5A. Dowling has never played him in their school history, either at Dallas Center or Grimes, or if that was ever a high school at one time. I'm not sure. I doubt it was. But congratulations to head coach Tom Wilson and also to Coach Heitland as he makes the transition from 4A to 5A with Dallas Center Grimes. Dowling wins it 27-0 as the coaches exchange handshakes right now, Matt Maindring. And the Maroons score twice in the second half. Maroons led 17-0 at halftime. Ian Middleton, 1-yard plunge for a touchdown in the fourth quarter, made it 24-0 Dowling. And then with 8 minutes remaining, Ryan Kuhn on a 41-yard field goal. And Ryan tonight, field goals of 46 and 41 yards, Matt.
Yeah, he had a good night. And just a couple score updates. Southeast Polk is now up on Norwalk, Dowling's opponent next week. Southeast Polk is up 35-20 late in that game. And Waukee Northwest has extended their lead. They're up now 35-13 and taking control in the second half.
All right, we're going to take a 2-minute break. We appreciate my man Vinny Cataldo, who is our studio producer, as the two teams will huddle up and get their post-game comments from their coaching staff, so that'll take some time. So we'll take a 2-minute break. We'll get the game stats from Jared Seifert, and we'll pass those along to you, and then we'll get our interviews set up on the field with head coach Tom Wilson. And a couple of Dowling players like to do an offensive player and a defensive player, and I think we've got that accomplished, but we'll confirm all that when we return. Again, the final, Dowling 27, and Dallas Center Grimes nothing. Dowling improves his record to 2-1. Dallas Center Grimes record falls to 2-1 as the Fourth Reich Maroons defeat DCG 27-0. Back in 2 minutes with the postgame show along the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
This is Dale Ahlquist with a Chesterton Minute. Have you ever noticed what happens when people set out to destroy the church? They don't destroy the church, but they manage to wreck everything else. G.K. Chesterton says men who begin to fight the church for the sake of freedom and humanity end up flinging away freedom and humanity if only they may fight the church. The secularists have not managed to destroy divine things, but they have destroyed secular things. Thanks to the war against the church, the world is a mess. We have more disorder, more distress, more discontent than ever before. And that's why we must defend the faith. By defending God's truth, we are defending all truth. By defending the church, we are saving the world. Want more than a minute? Chesterton.org.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and urgent eye issues. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Fast Signs is a custom sign and visual solutions company with an extensive selection of digital signage, interior and exterior signs, banners, and vehicle wraps. Learn more at fastsigns.com. Thank you, Fast Signs in Clive, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Bozen the Florist. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, weddings, whatever the message, say more with Bozen. Bozen.com. 515-244-ROSE. Bozen makes the moment mean more.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by CTO. Your support has helped thousands of students attend our Catholic schools. CTOiowa.org. At CTO, the bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Welcome back to Dallas Center Grimes High School. Our thanks to Madison Melchert and all the fine folks here at Dallas Center Grimes being very hospitable to us as a visiting radio tonight. Dowling with the win over DCG by the score of 27-0. Both teams now with records of 2-1. Dowling 1-0 in District 2 play. Next week it'll be a non-district game as Dowling will host Southeast Polk at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines, and then we will be simulcasting with CISN next Friday night. And for Dallas Center Grimes, next Friday night they travel to Des Moines and take on Des Moines Roosevelt at Mediacom Stadium, 7 o'clock next Friday. So kind of previewing both weeks as we are about set with our post-game interviews. Brian Morris at midfield. I know you're where's your handlers at, Brian?
I got him.
Okay. So we've got Ryan Bobo, the defensive standout tonight, and we can't say enough about him, Mr. Maindry, because he had one outstanding night, and they couldn't block this young man, number 90, out there. Brian Morris, take it away with the Dowling starting defensive tackle.
Yeah, Ryan, I think we said you were in the backfield more than the running backs for DCG, but talk to me about the pressure. You were getting pressure about every time that quarterback went back to pass.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting him just to keep going back, but yeah. I'm just super proud of our guys. We've been working on that contain, and we just keep getting better, and it looked better tonight. So, yeah, it was a good feeling.
Yeah, that was one of the things we talked about from the Valley game, the containment. And, again, you guys have made improvements the last 2 weeks. Talk about kind of what went on the last couple of weeks of practice to get that improvement.
It's all just hustle. We just got to keep hustling the ball. We make it an emphasis. Just keep hustling the ball, and then it'll fall in our pocket.
Defense tonight, again, kept this team in the game early, made some big plays, threw a shutout on the board. Tell me about the fellas you're playing with out there.
Yeah, they just fight. Anytime we get a shutout, it's a good thing. We're all happy about it. Yeah, we're just going to keep trying to get better and always just keep bringing the intensity.
Mark, Matt?
Well, I'm going to start this off, Matt, if you don't mind. Ryan, you've got a couple interesting defensive line coaches in Mike Fontana, and he's one of them. I'm sorry. And, of course, you can't forget Coach Perriott. And that's got to be real interesting during practice for some of the drills, right?
Yeah, no, they're some of the funniest guys I know. But, yeah, no, they're great coaches. They always just help us to get better, and they always just help us keep the energy up.
What is one thing that you've been working on in the off season besides the weight room and all that, but as far as your technique, getting off the ball, trying to show the offensive lineman, the opponent's offensive lineman something different?
Just taking that next step, fixing the little things, those are really that make the big difference.
Ryan, as a captain out there and as a leader and, someone who's out there just working every day to make sure this team keeps moving forward, what's important to you?
Just inspiring these guys, making them want to go fight, not feel like they have to do it, just something they love to do.
Yeah, from a leverage standpoint tonight, you had the edge all night long, and why don't you talk about that? Where are you looking at when you line up?
When I line up, I try to see the big picture, the ball, backs, and the tackle all at the same time, And, yeah, I just try to see the big picture.
And then hustle.
Yep.
Well, it's good to see you healthy. I understand there was an X-ray that was negative this week.
Yep.
We could talk about that off the air, but I'm glad you got cleared tonight, Ryan.
Thank you.
He had a big smile on his face when I saw him in the hallway when I asked him.
Well, so did Coach Wilson and Coach Perry out in Fontana. So there you go. Ryan Bobo, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on the win.
Yep, thank you.
All right, Ryan Bobo, starting defensive tackle for Dowling, 5'11", 220. And I'll tell you what, that guy is just full of energy. And I bet he was double-teamed a few times in that second half.
Oh, here we go.
All right, now they got the whole offensive line.
Yeah.
So the well-placed microphone by Brian Morris, this is what Coach Pollock has done. He's trained these guys to be around all this stuff. And it's Pollock and who else is down there? Shelton. Yeah, they got him well-trained. Brian Morris, take it away. You have one of the Dowling senior offensive linemen.
Yeah, I have a lot of the offense on. They all kind of stink, actually, guys. But talk to me about the second half. You guys came out and just decided to run the ball. What was the halftime speech like?
We just got to be better. We have to come out with a fire and just keep going every play. We started a little slow, but we brought it in the second half.
Well, talk to me about the offensive line. You got 2 seniors, 2 sophomores, and a junior. Kind of what is the thing you guys do to try to get better each week?
Making sure our center actually snaps the ball, and just making sure we know where we're going every time.
You guys got through this game. This is a big game this week. Next week you got Southeast Polk coming up. What did Coach say to get ready for that game?
We just got to get better every practice, come out with intensity, and be ready to play.
Matt?
Hey, Josh, we noticed a difference between that opening drive in that first quarter and how things started to change in that second quarter. And what were the things that went on to get to that level of play for you tonight?
Just tempo, get to the ball after every play, make sure we run it right, and make sure we get the mic.
Yeah, make sure and for our listeners, they want to get the Mike linebacker, get that middle linebacker. And, Josh, it looks like you guys are having fun when you go into that tempo game. Talk about that a little bit. Don't you get fatigued, or is that more fun?
We always get tired, but we just got to make sure the other guys are more tired than us.
That's well played. We're visiting with Josh Miller, 6'3", 275-pound senior left guard for Dowling. And, Josh, I'm going to go back to your coaches, Casey Shelton and Andy Pollock. It's kind of like lightning and thunder, but I think Coach Shelton had a few words of encouragement is what we heard early in the game. Is that true?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it sure did work, didn't it?
Yeah. You just told us it was a team game. Made sure we all were ready to go.
All right. Anybody want to give a shout-out, Josh?
Just Jordan Watson.
Jordan Watson? Yep. Why is that?
Made sure last week we all knew that was a team game. We were all ready to go.
There you are. Well, best of luck enjoy the win, and best of luck next week against Southeast Polk.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
Josh Miller joined us here on the postgame show. Live from the field, Brian Morris with our Jenny Farrell sideline report, the Jenny Farrell team at RE/MAX Concepts. Been helping generations of Dowling Catholic families with their real estate investments for almost 30 years. And you can learn more at jenniferfarrell.remax.com. And we'll go back down to the field with Tom Wilson, the Dowling head football coach, following Dowling's win, 27-0 over Dallas Center Grimes. Brian?
Coach, it looks like the second half you guys came out and you wanted to establish that run, which you really did. You moved the ball up and down the field. You had one turnover, which, again, I don't know if it was a turnover from my angle, but it doesn't matter. Tell me about that offensive line that second half.
Yeah, we challenged them at halftime, and it's no secret offensively we were inconsistent, and between special teams and offense, we tried to make our life real difficult. But fortunately, our defense kept coming through, and we turned the ball over 4 times, and it's really, really hard to get consistent in anything if you're going to do that.
Defensively, we talked at halftime. They were lights out in the first half. Second half as well. Ryan Bobo, we talked to him. He was in the backfield. We said more than the DCG running backs. But tell me about the defensive effort tonight.
Well, I do think it starts with that pass rush. I thought their quarterback was having to run out of the pocket and just throw the ball out of bounds. He was never able to get into a rhythm. And, Bobo, we kind of expect that, and I saw him start to double-team him, and that slowed him down for a while. But I really thought Bonanno on the other side flashed quite a bit. And really those interior guys between Hagan, Elcock, McLaughlin coming in, I really think that they're starting to make some progress. So that's awesome to see.
Well, last question for me, guys, before I throw it up to you. DCG, first time you're playing them, what was your just initial reaction to this team, this program?
I've got a lot of respect for Scott Heitland, their coach. I've known him for years, and I think they do a great job athletically over here. Honestly, they've got a great group of juniors that they're going to continue to get better. But, I thought they played hard. I thought the community turned out. I thought it was a really good atmosphere, and this is a great complex. So kudos to them.
Mark?
All right. Coach, early in the game, it was back and forth. Both teams' defenses outplaying the offenses, obviously. But that blocked 54-yard field goal by Dowling, Blunt said he got a piece of it. At least he fessed up. And then how about Maddox Capola returning it? And, all the way down to the 28-yard line. 2 plays later, you score Nahas to Drexler. That was the first score of the night, but there was a lot of defense in that first quarter that the offense couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we felt like we were shooting ourselves in the foot, but sometimes you've got to give the defense credit to that. And, Maddox acted like a basketball player there for a while because he kind of stood there wondering what to do. And that is something that we discuss when that ball is on that side. And he got it, and he needed to run. And the other guys looked like they were out front, and then finally here comes Maddox.
Yeah, that was really the thing that turned it in that first half. I saw Anthony Bonato a lot tonight too, Coach. He really stepped up for you. Can you talk about that young man for a little bit?
He's a hungry kid. He didn't play a lot last year. He wanted to play linebacker, and we wanted to make him a stand-up end. But what he is he's a kind of a weight room junkie, and it's really important to him. And he has really improved a lot. He's a tough kid. He's built his body up. I'm proud of him. He's really starting to come into his own, and I think we'll continue to get better.
Coach Wilson, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on the win. You're 1-0 in district play in Southeast Polk next week. We'll see you then.
All right, thank you.
You bet. Head coach Tom Wilson of Dowling Catholic following the Maroons' 27-0 win over Dallas Center Grimes as Brian Morris caught up with Coach Wilson and the players on the field. We're going to take a 1-minute break, come back with final thoughts, close this out from Dallas Center Grimes High School. Again, Dowling 27, Dallas Center Grimes nothing. Class 5A district football opener tonight, and we'll return in 1 minute along the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
What are you doing out there?
Come on! I saw you at the game the other night. Yeah, you. Up there getting mad, acting like we're all out there making $1 million a game. Well, let me be real with you. This isn't the pros. It's school sports, and it's a game, our game. So please, let us play.
School sports fans, remember, when you cheer for your team, make noise for the right reasons. This message presented by the NFHS and the NIAAA.
And all student athletes in Iowa.
Life's buzzing with energy, and every moment is powered by our health. At Mercy One, their caring doctors focus on just that, so you're ready for what life brings next. Find care at mercy1.org/healthpowerslife.
Maroon football lives here.
Touchdown!
He is up and over the top.
All season long.
Dowling wins it in overtime. The Maroons storm the field.
On 105.5 KIHS, Perry, Des Moines.
Back here at Dallas Center Grimes High School in Grimes, Iowa. Week 3 of the Iowa High School football season is complete, at least as far as we're concerned, as Dowling wins it 27-0 over Dallas Center Grimes. Take a look at some of the numbers in this contest. Offensively, quarterback Joey Nahas, 10 of 22 passing, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception for the Maroons, as Ethan LaCava came in late in the fourth quarter, 1-for-1 passing for 3 yards. On the ground, Ian Middleton tonight, 29 carries, 143 yards, and a touchdown. And he wasn't the only one getting yardage. Henry Smith, came in, and he had the ball 19 times for 104 yards for the Maroons. So not a bad job by those two. Leading receiver was Jeffrey Roberts, 4 catches, 53 yards, and a touchdown for Dowling Catholic. So let's look at some of the offensive numbers for the Maroons, and let's see if we get some of the team stuff out here. Roberts, 4 catches for 53 yards. Drexler, 3 catches for 48 yards. Jimmy Nahas, 2 catches for 19 yards. So we're just kind of going through there. Matt Maindring's getting some of the scores up. We'll go through some of those. The leading tacklers for Dowling, Blunt with 5 tackles tonight to lead the Dowling defense. Robertson with 4 tackles, and Graby, Bobo, Sanko, and Watson with 2 tackles each to lead the Dowling defense. So that's a look at some of the numbers there. And, Matt, you got some of the scores caught up around the Class 5A.
Some of the scores, trying to chase some scores down here. It was Waukee Northwest defeating Iowa City High 35-13. Looking at the rankings, Marr was playing Iowa City Liberty. Iowa City Liberty wins 28-7. Valley was up big on Urbandale. I didn't get a final on that one. Ankeny wins over Roosevelt 49-0. And then Southeast Polk held on and then extended their lead. They beat Norwalk 21-13, or 35-20 is how that one ended up. The next opponent for Dowling. And so those were the main scores as we look through and look towards next week.
We certainly do. And, Brian, it was a warm night. You had a little bit of a breeze, but nice job with those interviews, getting Mr. Bobo being one of them. And
you also get traffic for me because this parking lot is not moving, it looks like, guys. So
that.
we may have this post-game show for 3 hours.
You
guys buckle in back there.
you were wondering why all the high school kids from DCG were parking along the grass on the way in. That's so they can get out.
That's right.
It is it's very slow moving.
Yeah, almost as slow as it is getting out of Dowling Catholic.
Yeah, after school.
But they have a guy out there playing the orchestra at Dowling. You know that, don't you?
Oh, yeah, no, I heard Mr. Maindering is doing the traffic duties.
He's doing orchestra play, every night with the construction on 22nd Street.
That's why they pay you the big dollars, man.
Yeah, that's right. I said my union contract today, when it started to rain, I go, this is not in the thing.
I hear you.
Well, you ought to get your help, who does your checklist before every game, Michelle, to come out and assist you with that. You might want to talk her into that. But
no, we got a crew. Officer Granzo does a great job and helps us. And,
Are you deputized to do that?
Well, they said as long as I've got the yellow vest on, I can go out in the street and direct. If I don't have the yellow vest, I can't go out there.
That is awesome.
So I got to carry it in my hand. Tyler Miklow's in the lot. We've gotten it down to a pretty good science.
We had patrol boys when we were in grade school.
That's right.
Maybe you should get some of the fellas to do that out there.
That's probably not very safe. It probably wasn't. Hey, great job, Brian, with Josh Miller, the Dowling left guard, and, of course, Ryan Bobo, their linebacker / defensive end, and they had tremendous games tonight, but so did some of their teammates. And what was really a kind of an ugly start because the defense dominated for both teams before the Maroons blocked the field goal. And as we mentioned, Maddox Capola ran it back. He kind of looked, like, can I run with this? And then he did. And then 2 plays later, the touchdown by Nahas to Drexler from 27 yards out, and Maroons led 7-0. But it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, you guys said it right, because as soon as that play happened, everybody froze.
Yeah.
And then even the DC guys started coming off the sideline, coming toward their sideline. The Dowling guys froze, and Maddox picked it up, and just one more, he would have had it.
Is that what it was?
Yep, he would have had a touchdown.
Typically on that play, and when it's a blocked field goal and it goes down there, you're telling your people to get away from it because only bad things can happen.
Correct.
If you pick it up and you start to run, you fumble it, or if you kick it around. But, but there they had so much green space because it was the block and just over the line of scrimmage, and he had a chance, scoop, and everybody's yelling.
And that's where you got to be listening to your coach from the sideline.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's somebody there because that doesn't happen often, but it happened tonight. We had a block punt that DCG executed.
There was a lot of early on drop passes.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we had a few penalties. It was, like you said, Mark, at first it was a little ugly. It really was.
Well, that's a credit to the defense. As Tom mentioned, both teams' defenses came out, and Coach Heitland, I wouldn't expect anything different. But what an atmosphere. You saw it was full over here.
It
the
really
DCG
was.
fans were this is a community event, and there's one way into the stadium, and as they're finding out, there's only one way out, and there's no back entrances, there's no back ways. Unless you want to go through the protected marsh over here in the northeast corner, you can't get out of here.
No.
And this reminds me, going back to small-town football, and what it's like. You get this school out here in the country, and you've got this set up out here, and the whole town comes out, or the towns in this case, come out to support their team, and it was a great atmosphere, as Coach Wilson alludes to, and a credit to everybody over here at Dallas Center Grimes because they've got a good thing coming, and they're only going to get better. Coach Heitland's been in this business a long time and is a well-respected coach and does a heck of a job, and he'll get them there, and it'll take just a little bit of time. But like Coach said, that junior class is strong. That is true. So it's this 5A District 2. This was a district opener. So Dowling's 1-0 in district play, 2-1 overall. Dallas Center Grimes 2-1 overall, but they're 0-1 in district play. Also in the district, Marshalltown, Waterloo West, Cedar Rapids, Kennedy, and Waukee. And Waukee got their first win, I believe, of the year. They were 0-2, but they're 1-0 in district play, so they're now tied with Dowling and Southeast Polk, and is in a different district. So next week, Dowling will play a non-district game. And Brian, it goes back to when you and I were coming through. It was just a conference game. You win the conference, you go in the playoffs. And now it's district. And sometimes you're in a district game, and sometimes you're in a district grouping. And tomorrow, next Friday night, Dowling and Southeast Polk are in a district grouping. It just affects the formula at the end of the year.
And I think this will be a good test. Again, right? You hate to say, a third of the way through the regular season.
Yeah.
And so you have Southeast Polk coming in to Valley Stadium. Great game last year. If you remember, it was overtime game, maybe a couple overtime game. It was a fabulous football game. But it'll be a good test just to know. It'll show the barometer of where Dowling is, where they need to be playing against the defending champs. They're still the champs in my eyes until they get beat.
That's correct. All right.
That's a great, and you go back over the last 5-8 years, this Southeast Polk Dowling game has been, I go back to when they had Wampa and everybody else, that game, that was an overtime game. It's been close every year. And, just the level of play, and you're right. Until they get knocked off, they're the champs.
That's right. All right. Well, guys, that'll wrap things up from Dallas Center Grimes High School. Any shout-outs out there, Mr. Maindering, from the school this week?
This week we lost one of our, Dowling lost a foundational person. This guy, Father John Akery, passed away early in the week, or last week, and
funeral was today.
Funeral was today. Wake last night. Funeral today. And it's always it catches your breath when you go to a funeral and you see all of the priests and the rest of the clergy up there. It's amazing. You had Bishop Barron there along with Bishop Joensen, and just it's got one of those feelings when you're in there for a very special person. And I know there was a lot of football players over time, and just a lot of kids in our high school over time who would go and see Father Akery for confession at the end of the day, or faith counseling, or whatever else. And he was just a very special person to me as well. And he's going to be missed. And,
absolutely.
Yeah, one of the great stories is during COVID. He would say, "Well, can I come in and have confession in there? And do things?" I said, "Father, no, we can't. You can't do this. We can't put you in a room like that with you." So he took a lawn chair. He went out and he put it outside, and he was bound and determined he was going to talk to kids. And he really is a special person.
He is.
Our condolences go to his family and everybody. It's just an amazing man.
Yep, and our thoughts and prayers to the diocesan priests that knew him and were mentored by him, including our own Father Reed Flood and Father Downey.
Yeah, and he wanted Father Flood to do the homily.
I heard that.
Yeah, Father Flood gave an outstanding homily today, and it's fun to see. That's the. You talk about shepherding, and leading, and that's what Father John was doing.
And on another note, of course, we had Ron Gray on at halftime, and I taped that with him last night, and some of the things that he mentioned about Father Akery, also mentioned about Ned Chida, who was a very important part of youth golf in this city. He had one golf course in Blank, and now he had four, but he ran it, and everything he touched improved, but he is also part of the Dowling football staff. And we mentioned this with Dave Marcooley and Brian last week, Matt, but he actually was the assistant coach to Jim Williams.
Oh, really?
And it was Jim Williams and Mr. McConville who went over and kind of recruited Jim Williams from Audubon, Iowa, to come here and start this Catholic football thing. And Ned Chida was a big part of that. Matter of fact, he scouted for her. He didn't teach in the building, but he scouted for Jim, and it was just a legacy, and people forget that. But he also was known for golf, and our thoughts and prayers with the Chido family, as we mentioned last week. Ned was he was something else, but he was a go-getter, another one of those. And so we just want to give credit there. And our thanks to Ron Gray for being our halftime guest. And I got to give a shout-out to one of our chain gang, who you'll be tripping up against next week. Darren Marasco had his birthday today. Of course, the father of twins, lives right in the shadows of Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. So shout out to Darren. I told him I'd give him a shout out. He may not be up this time.
He's the guy on our side of the field who puts the marker.
He's the clip.
Yep,
he's a clip guy. So our thanks to him. But again, thanks to everybody here. And Matt, you just keep up. Be safe out there. Directing traffic at the end of the day. We should mention. And that's all because of the bottleneck on 22nd Street. I'm guessing, right? It's just a mess.
Yeah.
Progress, Mark. Progress.
Yeah.
Right?
It'll be nice when it's done. It needs to get done.
Well, I'd say the same thing about the interstate.
Did you see the news today? Fleur Drive is open all the way through. No more construction.
Yeah,
it's all done.
For the next 3 weeks. Then they'll start over again.
No, it's been 20 years. So it's done today. So
I hear it from my South Side friends.
There is light at the end of the tunnel, Mr. Morris, sometimes. All right. Well, we got to say our so longs, but gentlemen, welcome back, Matt.
You bet.
A little different setting than in the mountains of West Virginia last week. Coming here to Dallas Center Grimes, if you look straight north, you can see Granger. So that's right. That's where we're at.
Yeah. Well, the beautiful thing is the next, what do you say, the next 5 games are at Valley Stadium.
Valley Stadium.
So maybe they'll get to see all of our faces when we simulcast on CIS.
I don't know if that's good.
Well, I don't know. It's always good, especially when I wear the Jenny Farrell team apparel.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that. Yeah. And you got Conference USA on tonight. So
I know that's an old one, man.
I expected to see him wearing an Iowa State shirt.
No, I couldn't do that to Mark. And none of them those fit very well either.
Guys, thank you, and we'll talk to you next Friday night from Valley Stadium. That'll wrap up our broadcast tonight from Dallas Center Grimes. Our thanks to Madison Melchert, the athletic director here at Dallas Center Grimes, Adam Jewell, Caitlin Kane, the support staff, and appreciate all the folks. Scott Heitland, the head football coach, appreciate all their assistance in getting us on board, and along with their IT guy, Mike Bynum, and their live stream crew. And our next broadcast will be next Friday night. 6:30 we'll go on the air with the pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff from Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. Dowling hosting Southeast Polk, the 4-time defending champs, and we'll have the game on Iowa Catholic Radio, so tune in for that. For Matt Mandring, Brian Morris, Vinny Cataldo, our studio producer, I'm Mark Amadell. Final score for the final time, Dowling 27, Dallas Center Grimes nothing. Have a safe and blessed, faith-filled evening.
Dowling Catholic Football and Iowa Catholic Radio has been brought to you by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, Blessman International, Fast Signs, the Catholic Tuition Organization, Skeffington's Formal Wear, Iowa Wealth Management, the Jenny Farrell Team with Remax Concepts, and Bose in the Florist. Please support the businesses that underwrite Iowa Catholic Radio. The preceding has been a Dowling Catholic Sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio.